think Mike Koenigs is one of the most inspirational people I've ever seen.
He's genuine and sincere.
The tools that Mike has brought to me have allowed me to revolutionize my business.
Mike Koenigs really has this special talent or gift to inspire people.
He has a vision for helping 1 million people to become millionaire entrepreneurs. That's going to change the whole world.
So today, I'm here to share with you, introduce to you a gentleman who's a dear friend of mine. He's helped me set up my studio and really helped me get going. He's been a dear friend, but more importantly, he's been a consultant to some of the biggest companies in the world. Here's a guy that started literally from nothing, but back in the early days of the web, back in 1991, most people forget, 1989 is when the World Wide Web really was created. So within a few years, he was already the guy that was, writing some of the first CD-ROMs games, that were out there. Did some of the first Mac games that existed for Macintosh. Went out and became the person that really, when the movie industry, was the guy that set up all those initial websites for Sony and for Columbia TriStar and for Fox. Was a guy that's, managed or helped some of the largest business in the world, 3M, Domino's Pizza. But he's also shown people how to get started from nothing. And I know that's what he's probably most proud of.
Mike started his first business at 16, writing software. At 18, he became a computer programmer. Today, Mike's a millionaire.
We're going to tell you how to get off the grid the way the celebrities do. Mike Koenigs is here today. He's a film director, and he's put together this documentary called Life with Tesla.
Earning over $44 million online and helping more than 45,000 customers in 60 countries, Mike has influenced and helped people from around the entire globe, helping them start, build, grow, and reinvent themselves and their businesses, becoming experts, authorities, best-selling authors, and celebrities. He's interviewed and consulted with billionaires, celebrities, and people from all over the world on how to influence, entertain, build, and grow engaged audiences. For years, Mike has been bringing celebrity-level marketing tools and resources to empower startup entrepreneurs and businesses all over the world to do business with anyone using his You Everywhere Now system, helping anyone with a message or business to get seen, heard, found, watched, listened to, and read anytime, anywhere, and on any device, leveraging the largest networks in the world, including Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and every social network imaginable to build an engaged following and brand. With the click of a button, anyone can do business with over half of the human race, and Mike's tools and trainings make that possible. Mike built and sold his last 2 businesses to publicly traded companies. His most recent exit was selling Traffic Geyser and Instant Customer in October 2014. Mike's first company, the Digital Cafe Agency, was sold to the publicly traded Interpublic Group in 1999. After 30 years as a serial entrepreneur, today Mike is a 10-time best-selling author, international top-rated speaker, consultant, coach, angel investor, host of his own TV talk show, The Mike Koenigs Show, and he's also a philanthropist who's raised over $2.3 million for the Just Like My Child Foundation, an organization that supports an African community of over 600,000 people in Uganda and Senegal.
So I want to introduce to you Mike Koenigs, my dear friend. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tony. Hi, this is Mike Koenigs, and I want to talk to you today about how you can build an online business. All right, we're live, and my name is Mike Koenigs. Thank you so much for being here. I've got 2 special guests in the studio with me today. You're going to meet them in just a moment. But you're here because I know you want some kind of a competitive advantage, and you've been looking for something that gives you some kind of a resource, some sort of a tool, maybe some sort of knowledge that's going to help you make more money and also earn that additional freedom, time freedom, money freedom, personal freedom, whatever it may happen to be. And I'll tell you right now, you're in the right place at the right time. We have some incredible material and content ready for you. So first of all, just make sure you turn off your noise gadgets, your attention-grabbing gadgets, because we're going to give you a lot of information. Ed Rush, who's going to be up here in just a moment, is going to give you some fantastic information. And don't worry about a thing, because we'll make the slides available to you as soon as this program is done, but you're going to have to stick around to get them. All right, so that's number one. The next thing is there are going to be some specific takeaways, including a specific checklist. So if you've been looking for a way to influence and persuade more effectively, to be able to close and get more deals, be able to connect with a larger audience, and be able to grow your business or start a business that's profitable, well, again, you are in the right place at the right time, and I promise you, you're going to have a lot of fun, and we're here to answer your questions too. So if you haven't done this already, make sure you introduce yourself in chat. Mike Filsame is standing by right now, and he's going to be answering your questions. So Mike, are you there? All set for us, man?
Absolutely. My camera's here, wherever I am.
Yes.
Here I am. Hey guys, how are you? I'm right here on the left side of Mike and Ed. So glad to be part of this today. I'm going to be helping you guys along in the chat. So here's what you do. If you have any questions, you'll see where you guys are typing and where you're from. In fact, test it out. Blow up the chat. Let us know where you're from. Let us know how excited you are for the training. And you'll also notice on the chat, on the left side of it, if you click the little toggle thing there, it'll turn it from a chat to a question. All right, if you do have a question and you don't toggle it, what's going to happen is it's just going to get lost in everybody typing that they're excited and where they're from. So if you have a question that you want answered on this this training webcast, make sure to toggle it. It's going to go into a separate bin that we have specifically for questions. We're then going to organize them and get them over to Mike and Ed for the questions that you have during the presentation. All right, so make sure to put them in there. Now, we're not going to stop and answer all those questions as they're going, but we're going to put them into a bin, and at the end of the presentation, we're going to answer them all. So rest assured, we're going to do our best to get to them. And if we don't get to them live, myself and some of the other moderators that are here are going to be answering your questions in real time in the chat. So I'm excited to get back to the training here and right back over to Mike and Ed.
All right, so a couple things that I want to tell you about what you can expect that we're going to be sharing with you. And in fact, I have a slide that I'm going to display for you right now. So number one, here's what you can expect to get out of today, which is the 5 most lucrative business models. And these are a massive opportunity. I've been studying where the greatest opportunities are right now, online, offline, to build and grow a business. So Ed is going to share what those are today. And this is a market opportunity that grows every single year. So you always want to chase the money. The second one is a new business category that for you represents less work, more money, and more impact. So if you want to stop trading dollars for hours and get paid what you're worth, this model is for you. And here's what's great. This will work in any industry, in any business category, anywhere in the world, and allow you to leverage your experience and your know-how and your knowledge. And then Ed is going to go through a tool. In fact, I'm going to share it with you as well, which is a 5- and 6-figure mobile sales formula. I'm going to demonstrate it for you. I'm going to give you the exact word-for-word scripts that you can use to go out and get and close big deals. And both Ed and I have been closing close to $10,000 all the way up to $70,000 deals with this, as well as our students and our clients. And then we're going to share with you something we call it the client intimacy multiplier. It's the most effective technique that we've been using to create engagement with prospects and clients before, during, and after a sale. And again, I'm going to demonstrate that for you. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. It doesn't require any fancy technology, any fancy know-how. It's a great way to engage and build clients. And we're also going to talk about where there are some clients who are ready to pay you right now within an arm's reach. And then, this is one of my favorites. Ed Rush is going to teach you what we call the 8 words to double your deals technique. And if you want to close bigger or more deals, you're going to want to write this down and practice it. He's actually going to give you, again, word for word, what to say so people want to start working with you. And again, this will work if you already have a business or if you want to build and grow a business from scratch. And we're going to share some business models, again, that you can use. So I want to tell you just a little bit about Ed Rush before I introduce him officially. And you can come back to me for that. And here's the bottom line. Here's what I like about Ed Rush. I met him, and he was one of my most successful clients and customers. In fact, back when I had Traffic Geyser, he was using it and built an agency around it. And he actually started paying me more money than he was supposed to pay me every month because he said he was making tens of thousands of dollars. And I was like, what are you doing? What specifically? And he started sharing with me what he was doing as a coach and and as a consultant. I thought, this is awesome. We got to know each other really, really well. And where we really started to spend more time together is when I was diagnosed with cancer 4 years ago. I was diagnosed with stage 3A cancer. And he said, I will come in and be your voice. He came in and ran my marketing. Not only that, but I also found that he was the most efficient person I had ever met and worked with in my entire life. He's got a huge heart. He's also an F-18 fighter pilot. He's going to take you on a little journey and tell you a little bit of his background that's very relevant to how you can leverage his know-how as well. So what I want to do right now is turn things over to Ed Rush. He's one of the most interesting, intelligent, and most efficient people I've ever met, and you're going to love him and take lots of notes. We'll be here to answer your questions. Submit them at any time. Ed, take it away, man.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike, so much. I appreciate it. Listen, roll up your sleeves. We're going to have a great time today, and we're going to talk about how you can get started now helping people and making 5 or 6 figures doing it. Now, you might not think you're an expert. You might not think you're qualified. You might think, hey, nobody knows who I am. All those excuses may have worked for you in the past, but not anymore, because in just a minute, I'll show you how those excuses don't work anymore because of this. Right now, at this very moment, someone is looking for the help that you can provide. I don't know what you do, and I don't even care what category it is so much as the fact that someone right here on planet Earth wants your help. And in fact, a lot of times, business owners, they just want a second opinion. They want a second opinion from someone that they would be happy to pay for. But before we get there, just a little bit of my story. First of all, I'm a former F-18 Top Gun graduate and a fighter pilot, but it wasn't always that way. Actually, I failed kindergarten. I had to go searching through the archives to find a picture of me back at that age. And listen, I'm not super happy about the fact that I failed kindergarten. I don't love talking about it publicly, but the point is, I knew really, really early on that I needed a system. I couldn't make things up on my own. I couldn't rely on my own intelligence. And so as I went into flight school as a pilot, moving into the F-18, I realized something really, really, really important, which is this. Everyone was a great pilot. Everyone. In fact, everyone knew how to fly, and really, really well. And I'm the guy that failed kindergarten, so I needed an advantage. Now, here's a little thing that people don't typically talk about, which is this. The F-18, when I was flying the F-18 back in the military, the F-18 turns at about 70 degrees per second. So when you're in a dogfight fighting against another airplane, or even in training, you typically try to get behind them, but you typically start in front of them. That's 180 degrees of turn. Now, simple math would tell you that that's 3 seconds of an F-18 turning at its absolute fastest maximum turn rate. 3 seconds. And so as a pilot, what I knew is if I could make 3 decisions 1 second faster than my opponent, I was going to win every single dogfight. And I have to tell you the truth, when I first started flying the F-18, I lost every single one of the dogfights that I ever fought in training against every single person in my squadron, because I just wasn't that good. And so because I knew I needed an advantage, what I did was I stayed up late. On Friday nights, everybody went to the club, everybody went out to the bars, and I would go and sneak into the hangar. And I'd sit in the F-18, and I would memorize with my eyes closed where every single switch was on the stick, on the throttles, all across the side of the airplane. I would memorize it so in an instant I could find the switch, the exact switch that I was looking for. The second thing that I did was I took the procedures manual, that F-18 manual that's about 300 pages, and I memorized every single number. In fact, I knew down to the very digit exactly the best rate at which the airplane would turn at a given weight. What that did is it gave me these teeny tiny incremental advantages, and by knowing everything was blindfolded, and by knowing all the numbers, I saved a bunch of time, I saved a bunch of energy, and I was able to make a huge leap. In fact, these seemingly really tiny things gave me this huge advantage. In fact, it was an unfair advantage. Now remember, I'm the guy that failed kindergarten, but I went on to remember this point, which is you don't have to be a lot better, you just have to be a little bit better to win. You just need to know where the dials are to give you that little extra boost into your income. Now, Tony Robbins says that the difference between being excellent and being outstanding is just a little less than 2%, and I found the advantage in the cockpit. It made all the difference in the world. Now, within 4 years of just starting out and getting beat every time I went to fly, I was a leading instructor in the entire Marine Corps for dogfighting. I went from 0 to the best simply because of those little advantages, those little buttons and switches, those dials that I could do with my eyes closed. And listen, they were sending me back and forth to Iraq to help in the latest tactics and techniques. That's how good I got in the Marine Corps. And I'm the guy that failed kindergarten. It wasn't skill, it wasn't like brains, it wasn't brawn, it was simply the fact that I found a strategic advantage. Now, fast forward to 2009. I've been out of the Marine Corps now for 3 years. I've been on my own and doing business, and it was just about then that people started to ask me for help. We call this coaching, consulting, advising. It's just helping people with their business and getting paid for it. Now, remember, there's millions of people out there who are calling themselves consultants, so much like I was in the cockpit, I needed that strategic advantage. So like I did in the Marines, I stayed up late, I researched, and I studied, and then all of a sudden, I found it. I found the perfect way to ask questions and start bringing in people, start to bring in deals. I found the perfect way to not be pushy. Like, people don't like salespeople who are pushy or salesy or slimy. Look, those days are long gone. You may have gone to a sales seminar like 20 years ago. You heard someone talk about all these sales techniques to kind of like get someone into the deal. Look, those days are gone. I wanted to be able to do it in a way that I could just be conversational and actually talk to people. And I needed to find a way for clients to come to me, not the other way around. I didn't like cold calling. I didn't like prospecting. I definitely didn't like going to like networking meetings. Okay, I wanted clients to be able to come to me. And so what I did was I wrote everything. I wrote it all down, everything. The way for clients to come to me, the perfect pricing formula that I could use almost every single time to get deals to come into me, and a series of questions that created a need for what I do. And then I put that together with a seamless way to ask for the sale, a tactic that I call the yes before the yes. I'm going to teach you that actually on today's presentation. And the yes before the yes literally eliminates the need to close. So you don't even barely need to ask for the sale. People actually come to you and they're willing to work with you simply because of the way that you put the words together. And then I put together a way to over deliver on everything that I promise, because that's super important. So once again, just like I did in the cockpit, I had my switches and my dials, but in this case, instead of winning dogfights in training, I'm making 7 figures. Now, since my first client, I've had over 340 one-on-one coaching clients, and most paid me an average of $10,000 or more. My current rates totally exceed $20,000. And the final question was this. I knew how to do it in the cockpit. I knew how to do it in consulting. I had created my series of questions, the way for people to come to me, the way to deliver. The final question was simply this, which is, I could close deals, but could I teach my system to someone else? See, it worked for me, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone else who implements it. Maybe it was just specific to me. And the question was, could someone else learn my system, the way to get deals, the way to get clients, even if you don't know how to ask for it, even if you don't know how to close, even if you don't know how to sell? Could someone use my system in as little as 48 hours, start making money, even if they didn't have a business, even if they didn't have a product, or even if they've never consulted before? So Mike Koenigs, actually this was the very first program that we started together. We decided to get together and give it a shot. We took 28 people, we brought them into San Diego. Now, we didn't know if it was going to work. We were going to teach it to them. We were going to send them off and see how it went. And in 2 days, I spent just unveiling the system, the way that I get people to come to me, the way that I ask questions, the way that I get someone to move forward into the sale, and the way that I deliver. Now, after those 2 days, we sent them off with the question, were they going to be successful? Listen, the numbers completely blew us away. Our first client, within weeks, came in with a deal at $74,500. Now, to put this into context, with that first group, I was teaching them how to do deals between, say, about $2,000 and about $10,000. Our first one came in, this was actually Carolyn Sampson, $74,573. She did a deal to help a doctor improve his digital marketing. After about 2 months of delivering this deal, the doctor looked at her and said, I don't even think I'm paying you enough. And listen, Carolyn had never even dreamed of doing a consulting deal before. It wasn't like she was experienced like she'd been doing it before. She came into our training. She simply took the system, those switches and dials and those knobs that I had done before, and she simply went out and actually implemented it with no cap on how much she could make and closed a deal for over $74,000. And people were closing significant deals. She wasn't the only one. I'll share a couple of the success stories as we go so that you can see and model their success. People are closing significant deals, and over half had never consulted before. So about a year after we did those initial trainings, we had brought some extra people in after that for some other classes because it was so successful. About a year after doing those trainings, we sent out a survey. Now, if you've ever sent a survey out, you know, it's kind of like you don't know what's going to come back. You're not totally sure how everyone did as far as the statistics go, but we wanted to find out what we had, and we wanted to be honest with ourselves and find out, look, do we need to improve this? How are things working? Do we need to add anything? Maybe take some things away? Well, listen, the results completely blew us away again. In fact, we started getting success story after success story after success story started to come in. And of the people who responded to our survey, now check this out, 87.5% said they had closed a significant deal within 2 months of taking the training. Half of them within 2 weeks. Here are a couple examples that just came in within that first year. $85,000 and a $55,000 deal for Megan Fitzgerald and Mary Glorfield. Pat Zemer, who was actually one of our original students, created a 7-figure business. Now, Pat isn't a marketing consultant. Pat isn't someone that teaches people how to make money. Pat is someone that works with thoroughbred horses, and he created a training system around his thoroughbred horse healing program and ended up building a 7-figure business. Rob Cuesta, $5,000 sale with an initial client right out of the gates. Kendra Dixon came to our training looking to help grow her husband's business. She actually came out, closed the deal as a consultant for $10,000, had her first 5-figure month, and now Kendra's making 6 figures as a consultant simply because of coming out of our training. Zamira Jones actually transitioned out of the media world. He was working with ABC and Disney and companies like that. He started his own business, landed a $12,000 deal, and then went on to make $138,950 within 60 days. Here's another one. Ian Bosler went out and closed a $37,500 deal. Now, you ever heard of the 80-20 rule before? That rule simply says that when you do something, typically 20% of the people will implement it, 20% of the people will be successful. Remember the number that I showed you? 87.5%. We literally took that 80-20 rule and flipped it on its head, and we knew that we had something. And the reason I tell you this as we begin the presentation is because I'm going to give you the tools, I'm going to give you scripts, I'm going to give you word for word things to say, and I'm going to give you a checklist. Nothing's held back. We give it to you so that on this presentation you can write it all down, you can take it and implement it and see the success, and then you can pass it on. Okay, so what does this mean to you? Very simply, there's no better time to get into coaching, consulting, and advising. And I'll tell you the difference between all three of those, coaching, consulting, advising, in just a little bit, but there's no better time to do this. Companies are looking for people like you, and whether it's digital marketing or helping people create books or health or fitness, it works in any industry, in any market. We haven't even seen one that it hasn't worked for. Or if you're already a consultant, let's say you already help people or you make money helping people, how about finding a few ways that you can change the way that you communicate to get clients to come to you and make a whole bunch more money, or even double or triple your revenue, take more time off, help a lot more people. So let's get started. Not only am I going to share the system, I'm going to share with you the 8 steps inside of my system, but I'm going to give you specific words to say. Okay, so grab a pen and something to write on, because this will go fast. Listen, I've got about 45 minutes to cover about 2 hours of content, so I'm going to be squeezing it in. I'm going to be talking a little bit faster than I normally do, and if I'm talking fast, you listen faster. Now, the great news is I'm going to give you the slides to this entire presentation, so you don't have to go crazy writing everything down. We don't have to go back. I've got it all covered for you so that when we're done, you can go download everything, you can print it out, and you can have all the scripts, all the templates, everything you need to go out and close a whole bunch of deals is going to be great. Now, ask questions. Mike mentioned earlier how to ask questions and how to identify your question. Mike Koenigs and I, along with Mike Philsane, will be here after the presentation to answer your specific question, and we would love to get to know you and help you as we begin this presentation. So, there are going to be 2 columns that I want you to write. The first one are the myths, and the second one are the things that you need to grow a very successful consulting, advising, or coaching business. So write 2 columns. We're going to start with the first one, which are the myths that you've been led to believe. Now, there's a reason we do this, which is really simple. I can give you the tools, I can give you the scripts, I can give you all the words to say, I can give you everything that you need, but if you've got these things that are in the back of your head, like, oh man, it's just trading dollars for hours for dollars, or I'm not an expert, you've got these things in the back of your head, you're not going to be able to become successful no matter how much we give you. And so we're going to break down some of the myths that you've been led to believe. It's things that people have told you that frankly have held you back. And once we break through all those, we're going to move right into success. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. So the first myth is this: hey, look, Ed, I don't even know where to start. So I'll hear people say that. I'll go speak, or I'll go talk at an event, sit on a panel, and I'll meet people for lunch, or I'll meet people on a break, and they'll say, look, I want to do consulting. I want to be able to make an extra $10,000 a month, but I don't even know where to start. In fact, this is the second biggest question that we get, which is, where do we start? And the first place to start, it's super important, is with a system. Remember, go back to the cockpit with me. I had my dials and my switches and my blindfold. I knew the numbers behind the airplane. I knew the background and the foundation so that when I got into execution, I was almost immediately successful. Okay, so the first thing you start with isn't a market. I'm going to show you some markets in just a second, by the way. In fact, in about 2 slides, I'm going to show you what we consider the 5 most lucrative consulting markets. But before I do that, remember this: it's important that you have a system. Without a system, you're just kind of shooting in the dark. Let me give you an example. Accenture is a company, used to be called Arthur Andersen. They currently make about $32 billion with a B, $32 billion a year. How do they do it? Arthur Andersen, or Accenture, does this. They go hire kids who are just out of college, out of business school. In fact, most of the dudes and dudettes that I went to school with, they came out of school and they went to work for Arthur Andersen as consultants. What did they get? They get a system that they put in their hands, and then they go talk to the Fortune 500 biggest companies in the world, and they give them advice. And the CEOs of these big companies make decisions based on these college kids. Why? Because they have a system, okay? Because Accenture puts a system in their hands. And I can tell you, I don't care what your experience, what your knowledge, as long as you have a system to implement, you can be successful, okay? So look, write these down, this is super important. These are what we consider some of the 5 most lucrative business consulting models. These aren't the only ones, but these are the 5, and this is one of the very first deliverables that we promised to give you, and I want you to write these down. It's book marketing, helping people get books done or becoming bestsellers. Digital marketing, which is helping people get leads or customers. Video or webcast marketing, which is helping people create videos or do webcasts like the one we're doing right now. Product creation, which is simply asking people questions and putting their answers into a product. Or what we call strategic advisor. And I'm going to get into the difference between consultant and advisor in a little bit. But strategic advisor is what you do when you really start making money as a consultant, which is this. You basically give people ideas and they go implement them. So these ones right here, these first 4, you're actually implementing on behalf of the client. This last one right here, you're actually giving people advice. Now, Jim House, who's actually one of our clients, came to us. He had a book and he marketed to dads. So actually he was helping dads. He was getting paid to help dads better connect with their kids. Jim had successfully written a book. We encouraged him to go off and help people create their own books. And he is now charging between $5,000 and $35,000, doing nothing more than giving people advice on how to create their books, just to show you how lucrative some of these models can be. Now, you might be saying, look, Ed, I got the list, but I don't even know how to do any of those. Just remember, those are just some of the more lucrative ones we've talked about. There's so many more. It'll work for you in any niche. I mean, we just put a bunch of them up on the screen here, which is like nutrition, healthcare, alternative medicine, ministry, personal growth, relationships, love or sex, speaking, travel, design or art or cooking or copywriting. We've had clients of ours, by the way, hundreds and hundreds of people that we put into the consulting business that work throughout all of these niches, helping people, in this case, lose weight, helping people get in shape, helping people understand themselves spiritually or in ministry. There's some more like poetry or fiction or education or therapy or addictions or home business or hypnosis. As you're looking through this list, just ask yourself, are any of these ones that I might have a little bit more knowledge on one topic than someone else that I could actually help them? Look, there's another list right here. So like photography or real estate or skincare or parenting or management or transportation or trade or astrology or pets or fashion. This is just a small list. We've got over 300 different consulting niches that we've identified for you. Like for example, Gary Rush, absolutely no relation, by the way, but a very good friend and good client. Gary Rush is currently making $500 an hour. He was starting at $100 an hour. And Gary basically helps people fix their mindset. Okay, so it's not like money-making stuff. It's not like how to get clicks off of Facebook, even though that's an incredibly lucrative, potentially marketing niche. This is a guy who helps people fix the way they think, and he gets paid really, really well to do it because he's got our system. Okay, so that's the first myth, is not knowing where to start. Myth number 2 is not believing you're an expert. This is really important, okay? Because as you get into this, the tendency is to think, oh man, no one's gonna pay me because I'm not an expert. What you need to remember is a simple term that goes like this. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Okay, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed woman is queen, which means you don't need to know more. You just need to know a little bit more to be a genius on a particular topic. So for example, if you know how to use a system like we're using, like Webinar Jam or Webinar Jam Studio, you could potentially help someone do that and get paid. If you're really good at social media, you know Facebook really well, you could potentially help someone and get paid. If you just know how to do fitness a little bit better or dieting a little bit better or relationships or communication, you can help someone and get paid. You only need 2 things, which are these. Number 1, the desire to help people, okay? Because consulting and advising is nothing more than helping people. And the second one is super important, which is this, the willingness to close deals or the willingness to ask for the sale. And I'm gonna give you word for word the 8 words that we use to close deals, and you'll see this is so simple. It's just conversational, but as long as you're willing to ask for the sale, you can make a bunch of money. Now, if you just have the desire to help people, which I don't think of the hundreds of people who watch this webcast, I don't think anyone would say, hey, I don't really want to help people. If you just have the desire to help people with nothing else, what you become is what I call a nonprofit consultant, which is where you're just giving people a lot of advice, but you're not actually getting paid. So if people are asking you to go to lunch, like, so that they can pick your brain, what you know is there's probably a check behind that if you're willing to actually ask for the sale, and I'm going to teach you how to do that in a really really seamless way. By the way, if you're just joining us right now, we're talking about coaching, consulting, advising, how to build a 5 or 6 figure business with already what's up in your head by helping people get what they want. Please join us in chat, say who you are, where you're from, what you do. And by the way, I'm going to be going pretty fast through the presentation. I'm going to be giving you word for word scripting. And I want you to know that all the slides are available after the presentation. I'm going to give you a link to all that so that you can just go through that afterwards and really go for a deep dive on the study. Okay, let me give you the example I told you before, which is Carolyn Sampson. Carolyn didn't actually even know how to deliver what she offered to that doctor that I mentioned. What she did was she closed the deal, and then she came back to her training to learn how to deliver some of the digital marketing stuff that she promised that she would deliver, and then she went into implementation mode and totally crushed it for the doctor, okay? And so you don't necessarily even need to know everything. Remember, sometimes people just ask you for a second opinion, but this is a really cool example for that, okay? Hopefully you're writing these down. Myth number 3, write this down, is I need money now. So people come to me and they go, hey Ed, I love it. I love the idea of being an advisor or a coach or consultant, but here's the thing. I need to pay my bills right now. And I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, consulting or advising is the single fastest way to make $10,000 right now. To close a $10,000 deal, or 2 $5,000 deals, or 4 $2,500 deals. In fact, the lowest deal that I teach in the trainings that we do is starting at $5,000, okay? So if you could just go out and close like 1 or 2 deals, I mean, imagine what it'd be like for you right now to be able to close 1 or 2 deals for $5,000. What would it be like for you to make another $10,000? What would that do for your income? What would that do for your family? What would that do for your house payment? What would that do for your investments? Just imagine that for a minute, because that's doable, and you can do this, in my experience, in less than 48 hours. I know that sounds crazy, but we've had people in our trainings who walked out into the hallway, texted somebody using a formula that we're about to teach you in about 2 minutes, text someone, had them text back, and actually close the deal while they were inside of the training. So you can do this with nothing more than what's on your phone right now. You just need to know the words, okay? If I had to start from scratch knowing only what I know now, I would get on my phone or I'd jump on Facebook and I'd start doing what I call assessment calls, just helping people with their business and closing deals. That's what I would do right now to be able to make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and I would do that even if nobody knew my name. For example, one of our students, whose name is John Cody, former pilot, by the way, John Cody went out of our training, closed a $12,000 deal simply by using the words that we're about to teach you. Okay, so we're going to move into myth number 4, but before we do that, I promised you that we would tell you some of the words that you can use, and I wanted to show you that right on your mobile phone, there's clients sitting right there on your mobile phone that are willing to and hopefully moving forward into paying you. But before I do that, Mike, you're going to come up here and talk about our 6-figure text message. So go ahead and do that.
I sure am. Thanks, Ed. So here's what I wanted to give you right now. Get ready to take notes. You can take a snapshot of the screen, and remember, we're giving you a PDF of this. So get ready, because I'm going to show you one of the most effective ways that I've been using. It's super low tech, and you've got everything you need in your hand or next to you right now to get and close deals. And this is so beautifully simple, and it works so well that I think you're going to be blown away. But here's the most important thing of all. It all has to do with the words you use. And again, I'm going to give you the exact script that I use, and I'm going to begin with my 6-figure text message. And here is the first one. It's checking in. Do you need anything from me today? Now, in a little while, we're going to talk about where these clients exist, and Ed's going to talk about them, but the bottom line is they already exist inside your phone right now. These are people who have money. You just haven't asked the right questions. But this is a way to initiate a conversation. And what it does is someone will start thinking about you and how they can work with you, especially when they start knowing more about you. Now, if this doesn't resonate totally, it will when you start seeing some of the strategies that Ed's going to show with you. But what I do to initiate a conversation is checking in. Do you need anything from me today? And you'd be surprised if someone would say, yes, I need help with blank. And you can actually cherry pick your opportunities. All right, that's the first one. The next one is, quick question. Are you still interested in whatever the result is? Making more money? Are you interested in losing weight? Are you interested in improving your marriage or your wedding? Whatever it is you do, you type that in. Now this, as simple as it sounds, turns out to be the most effective, highly opened email that has ever been sent out, according to my friend Dean Jackson, but I use it as a text message. And again, what I'll do is I'll find 10 people I may have met at a live event, a seminar, a workshop, or online, who I know we've had a conversation about something, I will send that to them. I will send 8 or 10 at a time. Invariably, I'll get 2 to 3 people say, yes, as a matter of fact, do you have some ideas? And then what I do is I respond with, I have an idea that will help you either grow your business, lose weight, improve. Again, whatever you do, you fill in the blanks. And here's the kicker. This is how you initiate a conversation that turns into money making. And when you see what Ed's going to give you, you're going to be blown away. But it's, I made one video for you. Do you want to see it? Okay, that's the message. And if they say yes, here's what I do. I have a formula. And right now, you're walking around and you talk to people all the time on your phone. And you're probably using your phone and maybe you're shooting cat videos or dog videos. Well, what if all you had to do is use your phone to start making money? And I'm going to give you the formula. And I've closed $70,000 deals all the way to $10,000 deals using this exact same. I have an idea that will help you grow your business. Are you interested in seeing the short video? And this video is 1 to 2 minutes long tops. Here's the formula. Number 1, hi name. I have 3 things for you. 3 things. Number 1 is I'll say something like, and I'll get their interest. I'm going to share something with you that I know can help you grow your business. And I'm going to give you that exact technique. Number 2 is what we call the main course. And this is where I say, here's how we can work together so that you can make more money, close more deals, or whatever it is. It's insert whatever you do here. And then third is the call to action. So this is the formula I use. I'll pull out the phone, I'll start recording, I'll say, hi Joe. If you recall, we met at the Bulletproof event, whatever the event is, or we met online or whatever it is. And I remember you telling me you wanted to grow your business and da-da-da-da-da. What I'm about to share with you is how we can work together, and I'm going to describe to you how we can begin in just a couple of weeks. So I basically just give them an outline of what it is, how I'm going to help them, and if you'd like to know more, we can arrange a phone call or I can send you a link to the page right now. So for example, I've used it to invite people to my mastermind. I've used it to invite people to special events. I've used it to initiate a full conversation that turns into a large consulting deal. But again, it's interest, main course, and call to action. Now, some of the things that Ed's going to show you is he's going to give you the exact step-by-step script on what you can use to take them from interested and saying, yes, I'm interested in more, to actually getting and closing the deal. So you ready for that, Ed?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, here we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. By the way, if you're just joining us, welcome to what we call the secret weapon, the fastest way that we think you can make an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month with consulting, coaching, or advising. We're going to give you the scripts. We're going to give you the tools and the formula on this presentation, just like Mike did. Now, if you're thinking that went by fairly quickly and you wanted to go back, don't worry, we've got you covered. We're going to give you the PDF with every single slide from this presentation so that you can go back, copy all this stuff, and go make a whole bunch of money doing it. We're in the middle of the midst right now, and in a minute, we're getting ready to get into the checklist of things you need, along with some scripting to help you bring people to you and not the other way around. By the way, some great questions. I saw a good question from Ken and also one from Hillary. We'll be taking those questions in just a minute. Also, thank you, Dion, and some other really nice comments on the presentation. We're just trying to give you stuff that you can use right now, you can take into your business and implement and see the success. And we're super excited to work with you and to see your success story. Now, 2 more myths. Myth number 4 is this one, which is I don't like to sell and I don't know how to close. By the way, this is a huge one. And when I got out of the Marine Corps and went into business, I didn't want to sell either. I didn't like the idea of asking for the sale. I didn't like the idea of prospecting. I just didn't feel great about that. I had been to some events and saw some sales speakers. I didn't like that approach at all. It just kind of made me feel weird. I wanted a way for people to come to me and not the other way around, which is the key part of the system that is super, super important. Okay, so the great thing is I spent the time. In the beginning, I told a story about how I sat in the cockpit, closed my eyes, blindfolded, and discovered a system that made me the #1 dogfighter in the entire Marine Corps. And I figured out a system for doing this too, so that you don't have to do prospecting or cold calling. Take all the selling out of it and turn it into a series of questions. This is the money behind what I'm about to teach you, which is this. If you use this the right way, what you're simply going to be doing is asking people questions. Instead of
using these tactics to try to get someone into a close. You're just simply asking questions. You're actually just having a conversation that leads to typically to a sale, okay? And so like one of our members actually took the list of questions, some of the questions I'm gonna give you, sat down with a prospect for an hour. All he did was ask questions, and after an hour, the customer, his soon-to-be customer, looked at him and said, "You're a genius. This is the best meeting I've ever had with a consultant," simply because he was asking questions, okay? So remember, consulting or closing a consulting deal actually isn't about what you say, it's about what you ask. It's not about knowing the right answers, it's about knowing the right questions. And by the way, that's one to write down. Being a great consultant isn't knowing the answers, it's knowing the right questions. So closing can be as easy as this. Check this out. This phrase right here. So, are you ready to get started working together? These are the 8 words, by the way. Are you ready to get started working together? Or are you ready to start working together? These are the 8 words that can help you close almost any single deal, and it's simply asking a question like this. So are you ready to get started working together? Think about that and just like say that with me for a second. How simple is that at the end of a series of questions for you to simply say, so, you ready to get started working together? Mike?
All right, I just got an interruption. I want to do a special shout out for a fast implementer. It's Colleen who's watching right now, and here's what she writes. She says, just sent the checking in text message, need anything from me today, to a potential client. She responded yes, setting up an appointment right now. So, Colleen, congratulations on your success. Now, again, pay close attention to what Ed's going to give you. Remember, you're going to get the downloadable slides. But if you're watching this right now, this is the power of fast implementation and fast action. That's really what the rest of this presentation is all about. But I just wanted to let you know, this stuff really works. You just have to implement and do it. But we've got a lot more coming up. Back to you, Ed.
I love that, Colleen. Congratulations on that. In a minute, I'm going to give you the next set of questions to ask to the person. Again, they're going to start to ask you, so what do you do? And how can you help me? And here's how I'm going to turn it around and give you the right questions. By the way, one of our students who we absolutely love, Irene, now has a business making 6 figures, and all she's doing is helping people actually in relationships. It's not marketing, it's not Facebook, it's not sales. She's helping women find great relationships. She's making over 6 figures because she's using the right words that we taught her, okay? So again, be writing this stuff down and then be getting into implementation like Colleen did. Now, on the don't like to close, I'm going to teach you a technique called the yes before the yes. So in a minute, I'm going to talk about what it means when someone asks you some questions. So you're going to ask them to work. You're going to ask to work together. They're going to ask you some questions. In sales, they call those objections. I just call them questions. And so what I'm going to teach you is a system called the yes before the yes. And this is huge. So this is a way to get someone to say yes to you before they say yes to you. So you know that part at the end of the discussion where you start feeling a little bit nervous about this deal that you're moving forward because you're going to ask for the deal? What would it be like to have someone say yes before they even say yes? And that's what I call the yes before the yes. I'm going to give you an example of this right now, which is this. Like, let's say someone says, hey Ed, I'm interested in working with you, but I'd just like to ask you a few more questions. That's a pretty common thing for someone to say. Just say, hey, I'm interested in working with you. I just want to ask a few more questions. And so instead of just going, okay, sure, I'd love to answer your questions, you can ask a question that gets a yes. That's typically before the yes. That means you're going to be able to close a deal. And this is an example. So I would say something like this. I'd say, hey, John, that sounds great. Listen, I'm assuming, these are keywords that I underline, by the way. I'm assuming once we're through the questions, as long as everything looks good, we're going to move forward on a deal. Okay, so think about that for a second. I'm assuming that once we get through the questions, we're moving forward. Now, what does John have to do here? He absolutely positively has to say yes. Think about it. If you ask this question and John says no, then you're like, well, why are we even asking these questions, John, right? So he has to say yes, but here's what you know. What happens after you answer the questions? You're going to move forward on a deal, right? So that's called a yes before the yes, and it's one of the most powerful ways to get someone to move forward on a deal with actually not even having to ask for the deal, which is really awesome. Okay, this is the last myth, which is this one. Hey, isn't consulting just trading dollars for hours? So like I have people that ask me like, I don't want to trade dollars for hours. I just want to make money while I sleep and make my money work for my money. The point here is that everything is trading dollars for hours. Look, if you trade stocks and bonds and like day trade all day to make your money work, you're sitting there actually doing it. Okay, so everything's trading dollars for hours. That's not the question. The question is this: how many dollars for how few hours? And that's key. In my opinion, consulting is pound for pound, hour for hour, the fastest way to make extra money with as few hours as possible. And I'll tell you, I've taken consulting checks of $7,500, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 to the bank. You know when they send it through that little swoopity thing, that little scanner thing? Nobody. I've done this probably 100 times. Not one person, when I took a check to the bank, not one banker asked me, how long did you work to get that check of $30,000? They never asked the question. You know why? Because they don't care. All they care is that the check goes through. So you're living in a world where it doesn't matter how many hours you put in, it matters the value that you provide, okay? So those are the myths. Now, let's move into the checklist. So this is the 8 things that you want in your toolkit. And what you're gonna do is just grab a pen and write these 8 things down because they are huge. And I'm just gonna tell you, once you line up all 8, you're gonna make money, you're gonna close deals, you're gonna help a bunch of people, you're gonna change the world, you're gonna do all the things that you wanted to do, but you need to get all 8 lined up. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I know the 8, I've got them lined up in my business, and now I'm gonna give them to you, okay? So the first one is this, it's a positioning tool. This is absolutely huge. This is the difference between you going to a bunch of networking events and having to like give a bunch of business cards out, or you having to make a bunch of phone calls, or you having to go chase a bunch of clients. Positioning is what gets people to come to you. Positioning is rapidly putting yourself as the obvious expert in an industry. It's what gets people to say yes. So for example, if you've ever had one of those conversations which is like a never-ending consulting conversation that you never make any money with, I mean, have you ever had that where you're like giving someone advice, and then you're giving someone advice, and then you're giving someone advice, and you're giving someone advice, and you're never actually getting to the place that you're actually making money or getting paid? That ends with positioning. And I want you to imagine this. That doesn't happen with Warren Buffett. For example, Warren Buffett doesn't have people that just pick his brain over and over and over again over lunch. Okay, if you want to work with Warren Buffett, you work with Warren Buffett and you pay to work with Warren Buffett. And that's the way it's going to be with you when you have positioning. Now, there's about 10 different tools that we teach on how to get great positioning. Our top 5 are right here, which is this: books, podcasts, interviews, blogging, and speaking. Those are what we consider some of the top 5 ways to get people to come to you. Creating a book, which you can do in as little as 2 weeks, I'll show you how. Creating a podcast, which is nothing more than an audio file of you interviewing someone, maybe doing a blog or speaking, which we consider pound for pound one of the fastest and most efficient ways to get new clients. Now, you don't have to do those, but those 5 we've demonstrated over and over again that it gives you this positioning where people really do want to talk to you and they really do want to work with you. There's other ways to get positioning, like what we call being strategically unavailable or turning the tables in a conversation. So for example, you might text message someone like Colleen did, but then when they text back, you start asking questions that create a level of positioning that typically didn't. Positioning is absolutely huge. It positions you as the guru on the top of the mountain, not the bottom of the mountain. Okay, so that's number 1. Write that down. To start in consulting, advising, or coaching, you need to have a positioning strategy, and it's one of the ones that I just put up on the board. The second one is a pricing strategy. Now, this is the biggest question we get. Remember I said, where do I start is the second biggest question? This is definitely the biggest question we get, which is this: how much should I charge? And let me just tell you, that's the wrong question. Because the question is about you, it's not about your client. It actually should be, how much should I charge my client? It should be about them, because everything in a consulting relationship is about your client, what you're delivering them, what they're getting, what the benefit is that they're getting out of it. And so start to think about it about them and not so much about you. But here's the point. Most consultants, from my experience, over 340 people have come through my office that I've seen. Of the 340, I've not had one person overcharging. Every single person undervalued the value of their experience, their time, or their story. And so it's important for you to understand that it's about impact. It's about the result that you get for the person that you're working with. That's why a lot of clients, they make the mistake, or a lot of consultants make the mistake, and they start low. They start with these really small businesses, and they're like, I'll just start with these really small businesses. I actually go higher. Start with businesses that can really, really afford you, and then implement our 6 pricing models, which I'm going to teach you right now. So there's basically 6 ways that you can price yourself as a consultant, so write these down. The first one is a fee. That's a straight up fee, like $7,500, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, just a simple fee for a series of services or a package that you're going to deliver to someone. Okay, a monthly retainer. That's where you charge someone every single month. In certain cases, it's as easy as saying my fee is this, and then adding those 2 words, which a month, on top of that, and you'll do that for a certain period of time, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 12 months, or for longer, if that's the deal that you set up. a percentage. So a lot of businesses will say, hey, we don't want to pay you a fee, but what we'd like to do is we'd like to pay you a percentage on the product we create together, or a percentage on our net income, okay? Percentages are great. Just remember, when you're working with a business that's just starting out and has a zero income, no sales, they love to offer percentages, because remember, 10%, 20%, 30% of zero is still zero. And so if you're working with someone new, or you're not sure if they're going to implement, what we typically like to do is this fifth one, which is upfront payment plus a percentage. So for example, I did a deal in the past which was $7,500 plus 7.5% on any sales for the product that I helped that speaker create. There's an example of an upfront plus a percentage, or a trade. So for example, someone might say, hey, I want to trade you this much for this. All I will tell you is, for the most part, stay away from the trade, because you can't pay your mortgage with a trade. Okay, the last one here is ownership of company. Again, a lot of businesses will come and they'll say, hey, could we trade maybe 5% of the business in exchange for your consulting? And that's a smart thing to do if the company actually has assets and revenue. But again, if they're totally starting out, go with an upfront and then get ownership of the company. So those are the 6 pricing models. Again, I'm going fairly quickly through those. I'm going to go past this slide. I'm going to give you all these slides at the end of the presentation so you're totally covered, and hopefully you're thinking about how you can implement all this stuff. Now, in this next section, I'm going to show you how to pass all the pricing stuff and just get the client to tell you how much they're going to pay you. And then, by the way, that makes the conversation so much easier when you simply get the client to tell you how much they're willing to pay, instead of you just quoting something out of the blue that you're not even sure what it is. And to get more deals and to add zeros, we get into number 3, which is called presenting. Now, it's a little bit misnamed, and I'll tell you why. Presenting sounds like I'm talking about me, or you're talking about your services. It's not about you at all. Remember, it's about your client. And this is where consultants start to make huge mistakes. So it's easy to avoid all of these mistakes as long as you're comfortable just nodding your head, asking questions, and not saying anything. Here's what I mean. So your prospect will say to you, so Ed, tell me a little bit about what you do. Or they'll look at you and they'll say, tell me a little bit about the services that you provide. And most clients take the bait, or consultants take the bait, and they just start talking about themselves for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and they never close any deal. And this is the key. This is really important. That question, what do you do? That question wasn't about you at all. Okay? The question was about the client. And so your best response is to actually answer that question with a series of questions. Grab a pen and write these down, because these are absolutely huge. I typically start with what I call my doing, how's that working, like to be doing series of questions. These are huge. I'm going to give these to you word for word. Okay, so for example, businesses, what's important to businesses? Leads, customers, the ads that they're running, retention, how they sell to customers. So what I might do is I might write those 5 down on a piece of paper, and at the top of the paper I'll write doing, how's that working, like to be doing. And let me explain to you how this works. I'm going to look at my client and they're going to say, so what do you do? And I'm going to say, John, that's a really great question. Let me understand your business a little bit, then I can tell you what I can do to help you. So first of all, John, what are you doing right now to get leads? And then I'll sit and I'll just listen to what John says. And then I'll say, hey, John, how's that working? And then what I'll do is I'll say, what would you like to be doing to get leads? And I'll write all that stuff down. So what I'm doing is I'm starting to pay attention, and I'm thinking, where can I plug myself in and help him grow his business? And when he grows his business, I can get paid to do that too. So I'll say, hey, John, what are you doing right now to get customers? How's that working for you? What would you like to be doing to get customers? Hey, John, what are you doing right now for ads? How's that working for you? What would you like to be doing? What are you doing to retain customers? How's that working? What would you like to be doing? What are you doing right now to sell to customers? How's that working for you? What would you like to be doing? This is super important. As you're asking these questions, you're writing all the answers down. Now, here's the key. This is super insider consultant stuff. On this how's that working question, listen for exclamation points, because here's what you'll hear. Hey, John, what are you doing to get customers? Oh, right now, we're using webcasts, and how's that working for you? Oh my gosh, it's not working at all. We're not getting anybody to our webcast. Okay, so listen for exclamation points. Listen for the frustration and the pain points inside of a business, and you'll see when you start to hear the answer to these questions, you'll see some places you can plug yourself in. Because listen, if you can help this business owner make an extra $10,000 or $20,000 a month, he'd be more than willing to pay you an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month to make that happen, because it's just a math exchange. Here's some more questions. Hopefully you wrote those down, because those are huge. Here's another set of questions. So I might ask what I call my magic wand question. These are problems or challenges. So I'm sitting down with a client. They'll say, so tell me what you do. And I'll say, John, this is a great question. I'm interested in finding out a little bit more about your business. So tell me, if you could wave a magic wand and eliminate 3 problems or challenges from your business, what would they be? And I'm going to sit and just listen to the answer. He's going to give me a 10 or 15 minute answer, and I'm going to find some things I can plug myself into. Or I'm going to ask done before questions like this. Like, what consultants have you worked with before, or what kind of help have you got before? I'm going to ask budget questions. I'm going to say, hey, John, give me an idea what kind of range you have to solve some of these marketing problems. I'm going to start asking those questions so that I can get an idea of how they can pay me. This is absolutely huge, and this is really where the rubber meets the road on this system that I'm telling you are the questions that you're asking. And listen, nobody will give you this stuff on a webcast like this where you can actually take it right now and go close deals, and I want you to go do that. Now, as you're just joining us, for example, if you've been here the whole time, you're seeing this build and you're seeing this system that I showed you. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the fastest way that we think to make $5,000 or $10,000 as a coach, an advisor, or a consultant. I'm giving you the word-for-word scripts, everything that you need to say so that you can make a whole bunch of money. And if you just joined us late, we've got a PDF of this entire presentation that we're going to give you in just a minute so that you can go through it at your own pace and you can do this. We're showing you how to do this in any business model. It doesn't matter if you're in health or fitness or digital marketing or helping people with books, but we're going to walk through the system so that you can take it and go be successful. And we're going to answer your questions in chat too, so introduce yourself in chat, tell us who you are. We'd love to work with you and find out more about you and see how we can serve you. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, I'm going to summarize these in just a little bit so you can just hang with us on this one. Number 4 is pitch and close deals. Now, again, this might be a little bit mislabeled too, because it's not about pitching, it's not about closing, it's not about being hard to do this. It's just, remember, like I said, it's just asking questions. And so there's 2 ways to do this. First of all, it's one-on-one, and we believe consulting, one-on-one discussions are the most effective way to close consulting deals, but the most efficient is one-to-many. In other words, standing up in front of a camera like we're doing today and speaking directly to you in your home or your office, or, for example, standing up on stage. And if you've never done it before, it's super easy. You don't even have to have any experience. In fact, sometimes if you don't have experience, it comes out better because you're more natural, okay? And so one-to-many is like speaking, podcasts, webcasts, books, social media, doing things online or more. We'll show you how to do both. But first, let's talk about one-on-one. This is where most initial consulting deals close, and it's definitely the key to big ticket deals like 5 or 6 figure deals. Okay, so there's 2 parts to closing, or actually just getting paid, which is this: asking for the sale and then answering questions. This is really important. We already talked about the script for asking the sale, and if you just joined us, the 8 words to ask for a sale are these. So, are you ready to get started working together? Or are you ready to get started working together? That's just the question. Okay, so you're gonna ask all those questions to that prospect that we keep calling John. What are you doing to get leads? What do you like to do? How's that working for you? And then finally you're gonna say, so you wanna get started working together? And he's either gonna say yes, or she's gonna say yes, or she's going to ask some questions. They never say no, by the way. They either say yes or they ask some questions. Now, people in the sales world call those objections. They're just questions. They're questions like, for example, you thought you were going to charge $10,000 and they're like, wow, the price seems a little bit high. Or they'll say, hey, do you have a guarantee or something like that for your service? Those are called objections in the sales world. They're just questions. And so all you need to do to close a sale is ask for the sale and then answer questions. It's absolutely simple. And so the technique that we teach, and I already gave you an example of this, is called the yes before the yes. It's so simple. First you ask for the sale. I gave you the words for that, which is, so are you ready to get started working together? And then either the prospect's gonna say yes, or they're gonna ask you a question. If they ask you a question, what you do is you ask another question before answering the question that gets a yes before the yes. Let me give you an example. So, for example, if the client says to you, you quote a deal at $10,000, which is the deals that we typically teach people to close. You quote $10,000 and the prospect looks at you and they say, oh wow, the price is a little bit high for our budget. What I'm gonna do, instead of just dropping the price arbitrarily, is I'm gonna get a yes before a yes. Let me explain how that works. And this is the scripting for this. So I will look at my client and they'll say, wow, that looks a little expensive. And I'll just say, hey John, that sounds reasonable. So right now we're at $10,000, assuming, big word, right? This is the word assuming, this is the yes before the yes word. Assuming I could get another $1,000 off, would you be ready to move ahead on this deal? Do you see how that works? So all I'm doing is I'm not promising I'm gonna get to $9,000, I'm just asking the question, if I got it down to $9,000, would you be ready to move ahead on this deal? Now think about this for a second. This is why this is so key. I didn't actually promise to do anything. I'm just asking a probing question, but here's the key. When John says yes to this, which he almost definitely will, he says, yeah, I think that we'll be able to do that. When he says yes, you just close the deal. Because all you need to do at that point is go, great, I'll write the proposal up for $9,000, I'll get it in front of you and we'll get started working together. That's all you need to do. That's how you close deals. So you don't need all this manipulative sales stuff behind the scenes. All it is simply asking questions. Totally easy, okay? So number 5. Number 4 was closing deals. Number 5 is a great delivery and follow-up plan. If you've been following us so far, it's the first one was positioning, second one was price, third was presenting, which is nothing more than asking questions, fourth is pitch or close deals, fifth is to have a great delivery and follow-up plan, because the bottom line is if you're going to offer somebody something, you need to give it to them. Actually, what we typically do is we teach you how to under-promise and over-deliver. Every single consulting deal that I've ever done, I attempted to do this, which is to under-promise a little bit and to over-deliver so that the client is thrilled with the extra things that you're getting, because what you're trying to do is generate testimonials, you're trying to generate follow-on deals, you're trying to generate referrals, you're trying to build an empire or an entire consulting empire based on one deal. And I've had clients who paid me $5,000 on an initial deal and went on to pay me 6 figures on follow-on deals simply because I did a really great job and over-delivered on that first deal. Remember, it's under-promise and over-deliver. Okay, now let me talk about this real quick, and then we'll jump into number 6, which is this. There was a question that just said, "Hey, what's the difference between a coach, a consultant, and an advisor?" So think about this. If you've ever been to like Yelp and you're looking for a restaurant, you know that there's some restaurants that are like $1 restaurants, and there's some restaurants that are like $3 restaurants, and there's some restaurants that are like $5 sign restaurants. And I want you to think about this. Coach, $1 restaurant, consultant, $3 restaurant, advisor, $5 restaurant. And here's the way it works. A coach is somebody who works alongside of somebody to get them the help that they want. A consultant works alongside a business or someone personally and helps them implement something. So for example, if a business wants to do Facebook marketing and you know how to do Facebook marketing, then, or to post on social media or to grow a social media platform, you would help them do that. You would start to implement that for them, and you would be a consultant. Or maybe somebody wants to get a book done and you would help them think about the content on their book and get a great cover and then launch it on Amazon. If you've done the book before, you certainly can help someone else do that. Or somebody wants to get in shape and you come alongside of them and you work with them. That's what a consultant would do. Now, an advisor is the highest level. All that is somebody who comes in and helps somebody by giving them ideas, and then they go off and implement it, or their team goes off and implement it. So for example, the kind of consulting that Mike and I do, or for that matter, Mike feels same, when we get invited into someone's office or when you come to our office to sit here and work with us, you sit down, we break your entire business down, and you leave with a plan, but you and your team are going to go execute that plan. And the interesting thing is the advisor is a little bit less work, but it's a lot more money. And so what we typically do inside of our programs is we teach you how to move from coach to consultant to start really getting your feet wet helping people, and then we teach you how to move from consultant to advisor to start making the kind of money that you really want to make, those big 5 and 6 figure deals. And when I'm talking about advisor, we're talking about deals like we've closed around here, which are like $29,000 deals, $70,000 deals. These are big ticket stuff because they're big businesses that you're helping out, and you can do this as long as you have a system like the one we're talking about. Okay, that's number 5. Number 6 is a book, okay? And so I mentioned a book inside of positioning, but I want to tell you a little story. Back in 2009, I actually started in a business working with attorneys, and I was going to be doing digital marketing for attorneys. Now, if you're familiar with that market, there's some huge companies like Thomson Reuters, okay, LexisNexis and FindLaw, who are the big dogs in that business that are making tons of money. And then there's all these little folks that are like the webmasters that are sitting inside of their parents' basement. We were trying to insert ourselves as a boutique agency that was doing deals at $15,000 up front and $1,500 to $2,500 a month. And the fact is, we had no idea how to get lawyers as clients. Look, lawyers are very skeptical people. It takes a really long time to get them to sign up as clients. And we struggled for a little while, maybe 4 or 5 months, trying to figure out how to get in front of our marketplace. And we decided, we got it. We're going to go speak at the Bar Association. And so we started calling bar associations to ask them if we could come in and speak. And the bar associations kind of said no, but didn't say no. They just said, well, call us in like 6 months and see what happens. And then what we did was we wrote a book. We wrote a book called How to Turn Clicks into Clients. We launched it on Amazon, and we got it inside of its category to become a #1 bestseller, which is not hard at all. Okay, when we did that, we were able to finally feed our team, and I'll tell you how we did that, which is this. We started calling the same bar associations and saying these words. These are great words to write down, by the way. Hi, my name's Ed Rush. I'm the #1 best-selling author of the book, How to Turn Clicks into Clients. We're on a book tour, and as a part of our book tour, we're on a speaking tour, and we were wondering if you wanted us to come in and speak. Now, we went from one talk in 12 months based on not having a book to, listen to this, 48 bar associations in 1 year, the next 12 months, simply because we had a book. Listen, there is nothing more powerful as a positioning tool than a book, and you need to be able to get a book done to be able to do this really, really, really well. And it's not that hard as long as you've got scripts and a formula to be able to do that. So that's number 6, which is a book. I got 2 more, which is this. You need scripts and forms and proposals and agreements and ways to counter objections. This is why this is so important. You need things like the ability to schedule appointments or ask for a sale or how to counter objections or get speaking events or follow up via email, phone, or text, or things like confirming speaking events or attracting talent. Okay? Here's why you need these kind of scripts. This is why this is so important. Because I gave you the questions, right? I gave you the questions. You're going to sit down and ask someone. I gave you the question on how to close a deal, and I told you the yes before the yes technique on how to get someone to move forward. But the deal actually doesn't end there. The deal ends when you get a proposal in the mail. They look at the proposal, then you get an agreement in the mail, and they sign the agreement, and they send you a check, and you get paid, and the check goes through that thing, and then the money goes into your bank account. That's the end right there. So if you've ever had one of those moments where you're like talking to somebody and it sounded like you had a deal and then you sent them an email with a proposal and you never heard from them ever again, it's because your follow-up game plan was totally messed up. And this is really important. I have an entire folder that I use that I've got every single email. So for example, I've talked to someone on the phone, I'm gonna follow up with an email. I don't just make that stuff up, I use a formula that works. When I go to talk to someone about doing a speaking event, I just don't make stuff up, I use a formula that works. When I go to offer my book so that people can come and hire me, I have a formula that I know that works. I'm pulling things out of a file that I absolutely know that work. And so when I'm ready to work with a client and I'm putting paperwork in front of them, it is nothing more than grabbing a Word document, changing the names on it, and sending it off using a formula that I know that works. So if you're at the end and you've gotten to the end or close to a deal before and you're not sure why, it's because you didn't have that last part, which is that folder or that file of go-to things that you absolutely know that work. Scheduling appointments, asking for the sale, countering objections. Like for example, when someone asks you a question and you're sitting there, instead of just making stuff up, you want to have something that you've already prepared, like the one example that I gave you, which is called the yes before the yes. You want to have that prepared so that people can help you. And that's number 7, and it's absolutely huge as a core and huge component to this program. And number 8 is a team, or what I call wingman. Listen, I never went into combat, never, not once, never, ever, ever without a wingman by my side. Someone to stand there and make sure that I was doing things right, that I wasn't getting shot at. I would look at him or her, make sure that they weren't getting shot at. These are people you can trust to be there along the way. They're not only your team, but they're also a community of like-minded people so that you can give people deals to look at and they can tell you, hey, I like this part, I don't think you're charging enough, I think you should move this up, maybe do this into the monthly or get the payments or something like that. A team of people behind you that can help you, okay? So in summary, I want you to write these down if you haven't already done this. What I talked about were the 8 things that you want in your toolkit. When you line up all 8, you're gonna make a bunch of money. You're going to help a lot of people, which is nothing more than what consulting is. And when I'm done outlining these, we're going to jump into chat. We're going to answer your questions and see how we can help you, because Mike and I and Mike are going to stay here really so that we can help you move forward and really get the kind of result that you want inside of your business. But these are the 8, so write these down. You're going to want these because when you line them up, like I said, you're going to have a great business and have a lot of fun. Okay, so it's a positioning tool. It's a way to price your services, and it's a presenting strategy. Remember, presenting is nothing more than asking really good questions. You don't even need to talk about yourself, certainly not in a meeting with a client. You're going to be asking questions about them. You need the ability to pitch and close deals, okay? Either one-on-one or one-to-many. You need to have a great delivery and a follow-up plan to get testimonials, referrals, ongoing sales. You need to have a book or something like that to get positioning. You need scripts, objection counters, forms, agreements, presentations, something to pull out of your toolkit. And the last thing is you need a team or a wingman. All right, so let's go and answer your questions. We want to get specific and help you. You're here because you want to grow a consulting or an advising business. You want to make money helping people. And there's no better way to do that than right now. So let's get started. Mike, let's talk through some of the questions.
All right.
Then we can keep rocking.
Well, I think some of them, come down to, for example, and these are kind of all group into the same ones, but to close a deal for certain services like marketing, how good do I need to be at marketing? Another one would be, if no one knows of me as a consultant, should I advertise? And how do I even get to, the contacts of people to text or inquire with, or to ask, is there anything you need from me today? And so, we'll put that one in one lump.
All into one. So let's just say this. So first of all, most of the people that I've met underestimate what they know or the answers that they can provide. So let me give you an example.
And I want to just say one thing. If you're having a great time and you've gotten some great nuggets, let's give Ed a big round of applause in chat, shouldn't we? I mean, he is kicking butt. He's been working his tail off to give you this content. And remember, at the end of the presentation, we're going to provide a link so you can download the slides and you actually see the scripts.
Right.
Okay, so it's a huge, huge gift. But make sure you give him a big round of applause. Let's see some of the virtual applause.
And by the way, I know that I went through that fast. I told you in the beginning that I was going to move fast. I had about 2 hours to put into 45 minutes, and we nailed it on that time. I did want to give you those slides, though, because I went through some of that scripting fast. I gave you about 10 or 12 questions. I gave you some word-for-word scripts to use, how to close a deal, how to open a deal, how to talk to someone. We gave you some text messages that you can use. And so the first thing is people typically underestimate what they can provide. So let me give you an example. One of the best speakers on planet Earth, this is a guy who goes out at $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, travels the world, has probably done thousands and thousands of speaking events. If you knew this person, you would go, oh, I know that person. Or if I told you the name, you'd say, I know that person. That person brought me into their offices for several meetings over a month to help him improve his speaking. This is why this is so important. He's a way better speaker than me. Way, way, way better. But he was looking for an edge. And so he was asking me specific questions about his speaking, and I was giving him answers based on what I knew, and he was super excited about that. That was a 5-figure deal for me. One of the best digital marketers in the world, I'm talking about world class, $9-10 million product launch kind of world class, has brought me in to actually help him with digital marketing. I don't even know half of what he knows, but I'm able to look a little bit into a business and bring in a new idea. So really smart business owners are willing to pay somebody, even if you don't know more than them, but in a lot of cases, you're gonna know way, way more than them. And so that's a good place to start. Another one on the text message, and this is a challenge that we typically give our students, which is this. Spend some time going through the contacts inside your phone. You would be totally surprised. I did this exercise on my phone, and I don't give a lot of people my cell phone number either. I did this on my phone. I found 100 names of possible people I could do deals with and 20 great ones. And I remember thinking, like, if I was completely out of money and frustrated and broke and I wanted to make another $10,000 or $20,000, I could do 2 or 3 text messages and just help someone solve one of their problems.
Yeah, in fact, I'll go a little bit deeper on that just to plus it. This is how I got my last batch of really high-end clients. I actually scrolled back to people I had met a year and 2 years ago at live events. I never delete my text messages. I look back and it's like, oops, forgot to follow up with him. Oops, forgot to follow up with her. Oops, forgot. And that's the person who was interested. And again, if you use the scripts that we shared with you earlier with the 6-figure text messages, again, this works in any business anywhere in the world. And remember, Hillary was out there. She actually got an appointment while she's been watching this. So, so here's some of the messaging that I got. I'm gonna actually turn to this camera so I can tell you a few things that have been showing up inside here. So first of all, from Silas, a fantastic value add presentation. And check this out. David, I like your concept about double learning. We're in the banking industry and have used this concept for years, have wrote a definitive book, in fact, also. So they're using some of these. Terrific, so many great ideas. Olive from New Jersey. Shonda, awesome content, woohoo. TC says very fresh perspective, thanks. Good to learn this. Applause from Ake. Standing ovation from Amir. So again, obviously people are loving this, and I would assume, I mean, here's the real question is, how would you like to have an opportunity to work with Ed? And I will tell you right now, if you ever have an opportunity to work directly with Ed Rush, you want to take him up on it. You've gotten just a sampling of what his skills and capabilities are, but just imagine if you had him with you anytime, anywhere, and were able to leverage his knowledge. How many deals do you think you could close if you just knew what he knew? And again, you're only witnessing about 1% of it. So I'm curious what you'd say with that. Let me know in chat.
That's actually cool. I had an opportunity while you were talking to that camera to scroll through chat, and thank you so much.
In fact, why don't you go do a solo on Ed right now? I know he wants to say something directly. It's actually on this camera. Right here,
okay.
Yeah.
So it's okay. We can both be on here. Or I just want to thank you so much. That was great. There's obviously more where that came from, but I did want to really give you like some healthy nuggets that you could take away. I'm not big on like not giving you strategies on the webcast, so we just really wanted to over-deliver. And I really appreciate those of you who said it was a fresh perspective. Again, I love the approach where you can just be really personable and just talk to people and just ask people questions and close deals. I've closed millions of dollars of deals in doing it very relationally and build. Sometimes I bring this in, but I've got a box that's about this big, and it's every time I get a thank you note from a client, I put it inside of the box, and the box doesn't close anymore. I have hundreds, literally hundreds of thank you notes from clients, and so it's a beautiful thing when you can give someone what they want want, which is an answer to their question or problem, and you can get what you want, which is to get paid. I love this economy that we live in, where you can get something that you really want, they can get something that they really want. That's what consulting and advising is all about. And so there were some great questions. We're going to go through those.
Well, we'll get even more, because I'll tell you what, I've got something here. It was just like, let's see, I just saw one question, which is so like, I just want to find out how I can get started today, and I don't even know where I just saw that comment.
So let's talk
Barbara
about that.
just asked that.
Barbara did. So thank you, Barbara, for that, and we'll talk about that. And so what we'll do very quickly is I want to show you how you can work with Mike and I, and then we'll get back to the training and really answer your questions and dig deep into
more content, more training, and we got the PDF download for the slides coming up as well.
And so let me just tell you very quickly philosophy, how we typically work. So we believe in going deep. In other words, we're not like one and done kind of folks that work with people and then sort of like wish you the best. What we really want to do is get to know you. We want to work with you. We want to look you in the eye and to be able to give you the tools that you need to go off and be successful. And we want to build a relationship with you. And that's not just words, that's in action. And so what we're going to do real quick is just show you what we've put together. It's we think is just an absolutely incredible deal and a no-brainer offer. There's certainly an investment, but there's a way to come here and work with Mike and I actually personally right here in the studio in a very small group. In fact, we can't even bring more than 15 people due to size limitations into our studio. And we want to invite you to be able to do that because, like I said, we believe in going deep and long. We'd like to have a long relationship and a deep relationship with a few people than to have like a very limited relationship with thousands, okay? And so let's talk really
deep
quickly.
And narrow. So Ed, why don't you get ready? And I will just say, raise your hand right now inside chat if you would like to spend a full day with Ed and me. What would that be like? What would that feel like? I'm really curious what you'd say. And so, Ed, why don't you just share a little bit of what we put together?
Okay, cool, Mike. And we'll just do this for just a couple minutes, and then a few minutes, we'll come back and answer your questions. So continue to put your questions in chat, but just pay attention for a minute because we want to give a very special invitation to you to come and work personally with us because we want to help you get to the next level. Now, imagine for a minute what it would be like to just do another $5,000 or $10,000 a month. But imagine you're doing it in a way that people are sending you thank you notes. That's what this is all about. We want you to go out and change people's lives and help them improve their business or their lives, but to get paid what you're worth to do it, okay? So let's talk about what you get in this package, which is everything, okay? We put everything you could possibly need to build a consulting or advising business, including the scripts, the forms, the agreements, including the work that was done for you behind the scenes, all the switches, all the dials. If you remember the story about me going into the cockpit and finding all the switches and figuring everything out behind the scenes, it's got everything. And when I go through this, you'll realize it has everything you need to get successful as quickly as possible. Shoot, we even did Keynote, PowerPoint, Word documents. We even wrote a book for you. Yes, we actually wrote a book for you that all you need to do is fill in the blanks so that you've got that positioned marketing behind you. We got every question answered. We've got every objection countered, and there's only one thing left, and it's this. It's you. It's you taking the system, it's you using the system, and it's you sending us your success story. That's it. We don't take a percentage. We don't ask for a monthly royalty. We don't do anything like that. We just want you to go out and make a bunch of money helping people. Listen, let's get serious about this. We did not get us 87.5% success rate with our inaugural system by accident, okay? When you empower people to get paid for helping people, they go off and do it. And this system that we're offering you right now, what you get was first taught here over that 3 days to that beta group here in San Diego. Then we implemented it with nearly 1,000 people over a period of 2 years. And then we built it again, but this time we put even more additions, more tweaks, more enhancements, more upgrades, more updates to make it even better. In other words, this system flat out works and we have the data to prove it. And here's what you get. First, we're gonna work on positioning together. This is how to get started now and get clients fast. Inside this module, we've got the positioning tools that are gonna get people to come to you and to become the rapid, obvious expert in your industry. Now, you may be thinking, this is like a 2-year process probably, right? Ed, no, it's probably more like a 2-week process when you do this right and when you ask the right questions. This fundamentally is what gets someone to say yes to you and to pay you more money. And we gave you the ultimate positioning tool. Remember that book that I told you about, that How to Turn Clicks into Clients book? That book we actually give you inside of the system as a Word document. It's totally optional. Some of our clients use it, some of them don't. But the bottom line is I gave you that entire book, that book that was responsible for getting 48 speaking events in 1 year. I give you that entire book as a Word document with a bunch of blanks inside of it. You can fill in the blanks, write a new introduction, okay, put a new cover on it and shoot it out there. and become a #1 bestseller on Amazon so that you can get positioned. Now think about that. What would closing just one customer a month do to your income? What would one customer, I mean, $5,000 a month. Just imagine for a minute what that would do for you, and do that in chat. Say it publicly. Say, you know, with an extra $5,000 a month, I would finally pay off some bills. With an extra $5,000 a month, I put it into my kids' college fund. With an extra $5,000 a month, I would go take the vacation that I've always wanted to take over to Europe or to Fiji or to go to Australia. With an extra $5,000 a month, you tell me what that is. And I'm going to tell you that number is super important. That $5,000 number, that's the number. That's the lowest deal I'm going to teach you inside of the system, starting at $5,000. Okay, so we're not going lower than that. We certainly would go higher than that, but that's the bottom line. What would that do for you right now? An extra $5,000, and then what if it was just 2 deals, an extra $10,000 a month? The cool thing about the book, and this is really a formula for the system, which is this: we teach you to fish, but we also give you the fish. In other words, we teach you how to position yourself, but we give you a tool to position yourself. We teach you how to present yourself and how to ask good questions, but then we give you the questions. We teach you how to close and counter objections, but then we give it to you word for word. So all you need to do is just read what I wrote and say it, and then you've closed a deal, and we're just getting started. This is the first thing. The second module inside of this system is our pricing module. This is where most consultants fail, frankly, because they don't charge what they're worth. Okay, and so in this segment, we're going to build offers for you and show you what to charge in each example of the business models that we've built. Okay, so we're going to walk through all 6 of the pricing models, show you what works for real deals, and then check this out. In a system called the Proposal Toolkit, which I'll get to in just a second, we give you all the proposals in Word documents. All you got to do is change the name, send it out, and the work is done for you, which is awesome. I mean, imagine the time that you're going to save, imagine the money that you're going to save, or the frustration, the aggravation of sitting at a blank Word document trying to figure out what to say in a proposal when it's already written for you. Like I said, we teach you to fish, we give you the fish. That's what I love about this system. Okay, present. Third step, present. Remember, present is nothing more than asking good questions. And so inside the present stage, what we do is we give you the questions. Okay, so it's one thing to teach you how to ask questions. We're going to do that. Talk about how to build rapport, how to communicate in a certain way to get someone to logically come to the sale. But what we also do is we give you the questions. We teach you to fish, we give you the fish. In other words, I wrote the questions for you. Mike and I got together and wrote what we call our 30 X-ray questions, so that when you sit down with a client or a prospect, you go through those questions and people are like, wow, this person's a genius and I want to work with them. And just imagine for a minute the time, the frustration that would save, or just the not knowing that would overcome. So knowing you have those questions and the confidence that it's going to be able to give you as you move into a deal. Okay, this is where the system really starts to turn into that whole fighter pilot strategy that I told you about, where you've got the knobs and the switches and the dials and everything memorized, so that all you need to do is do it to become super, super successful. In other words, it's step by step, and we did a lot of the work for you, which is really cool. Okay, module 4 is pitch, and this is where we give you word for word scripting exactly what to say, and you'll actually see me right here in the studio demonstrating it and how I say it word for word, so that you can just practice it and say it like me, how to present and justify your price, how to counter objections, and how to ask for the sale without anyone even knowing you're asking for the sale, or certainly without being pushy. In other words, this is really important. You can be 100% congruent. You can be exactly who you are, right? You can be the person you are, talk the way that you talk, not change, not have to make your voice deeper or anything like that, and you can still get paid. This is what really, I think, separates this system from any other system, which is we make it super congruent for you to do it in a way that feels great for you, that just feels very, very natural, not salesy, okay, not manipulative at all, just very, very natural, which is really cool. Okay, in fact, when you do this, a lot of times what happens is the client looks at you and they think that you're not charging them enough, which is really cool. Now, you don't have to speak publicly if you don't want to. We'll teach you how to do this one-on-one. But if you want to, we're going to give you an entire system around that. We think speaking is actually one of the fastest ways to multiply your income, even to small groups like 25, 30 groups, and it's super easy to find places to speak inside the system. We'll teach you how to do that as well. So to arm you for success, you get 5 speech outlines, and they're the scripts, the presentation, everything. We give you the keynote and the PowerPoint format. We give you 5 different business models already built for you, the slides and the open and the myths and the benefits and the close. In other words, I take my entire sales system, I put it into a presentation that was done by a very professional designer. They look brilliant. They really make you look absolutely great. And if you had to go out and just pay for somebody to build these for you, it would be thousands of dollars, but we put them inside of the system so that you can stand up and close on any stage. Even if the last time you spoke was Mrs. Potter's 6th grade English class, we're gonna give you the confidence to go out and speak. Again, you don't have to use speaking, but if you want to, this is awesomely powerful. And past attendees have told us, look, this module, just this part on speaking, is worth the entire investment in the course alone. And look, if you don't think you can speak, I'm gonna give you the 3-step fill-in-the-blank system to build any talk so that you can speak with passion and present with poise. This formula that I teach you inside of Module 4, people have used for infomercials, people have used for books, people have used for teleseminars, people have used for interviews. The formula that I show you how to build a talk, how to build a presentation, much like the one that you just saw that had all the applause, I'm gonna teach you how to build a presentation so that people think you're a genius and wanna work with you. And it doesn't matter what formula you use it in, you can use it in any format, books or speaking or interviews. It's going to be able to help you, okay? And then module number 5 is produce, which is how to give a client everything that they want, how to under-promise, over-deliver, how to get clear on expectations, how to over-deliver to your client, and how to create ongoing lifetime money. So let's figure out where we are right now. And we're just getting started and all the cool things that you get inside of the system. Look, I could stop right here and you could have everything you need to go out and become amazingly successful. But we believe in giving you absolutely everything that you need and packing this thing full with all the resources and all the tools, and we just get started here with position, price, present, pitch, and produce. Let's go into the next thing, which is this. If you like to learn by listening, if you like to learn by watching, if you like to learn by reading, we've got you covered either way. So we created an action book and a bunch of transcripts, and we put everything also in MP3 and video format. So it's super organized, easy to follow. All the worksheets are already done for you with fill in the blanks. And every module we had transcribed so that you can either read it, you can listen to it, or you can watch it. Okay, just to add value to this. So you've got all 5 modules, including position, price, present, pitch, produce, plus transcript, action book, MP3s of everything. In fact, I've got mock-ups right here. We give you immediate access to the system, which is fully digital. Okay, but this is an action book. This is the proposal toolkit, which I'll talk about in just a second. And again, you can get access to this immediately. So as soon as I show you where the button is, you can get inside of the system. You can get started as soon as today. You can even break some records. I'll tell you what the record is in a little bit of the fastest person who got into the system and then closed the deal, so that we can make a great, tell everyone about your success story and how amazing you are. But let's get into some of the bonuses, some of the cool extra stuff that we've added into the system to help you out right now, which is this. The first bonus is a system that we call the Proposal Toolkit. Okay, as a part of this complete package, you get an entire system called the Proposal Toolkit, and so that you can start getting deals right now as soon as you get the system. All the work's been done. Inside the Proposal Toolkit, you've got pre-written proposals that Mike and I wrote for you. All of the agreements, all the contracts, all the presentations, and more. Listen, it's amazing, but so many consultants get a bunch of interest from prospects, they never follow up, or their proposals are horrible, and they lose a deal after they think that they've closed it. The Proposal Toolkit solves this problem for you. Inside the Proposal Toolkit, you've got scripts for setting appointments, scripts for emailing after proposal, outbound calling scripts, how to schedule a speaking event, a letter to send with your book or to book a speaking event, a sales page video script, a lead page video script, booking a follow-up call, and so much more. If you can come back to me real quick, I've got some of the scripts that are sitting right in front of me inside of the Proposal Toolkit. If you look at this right here, we provide all of this for you. Again, it's all digital. These are mock-ups of what you get, but again, we did the work for you. So if you need to schedule an appointment, you just pull out the Word document. If you need to follow up with a client, you just pull out the Word document. If they're like, hey, send me a proposal, instead of making a proposal up, you just pull out the Word document, change it for your proposal. They're all beautifully designed for you. Send it out, you close the deal. Plus, what we give you are the 5 business models that I taught earlier. All of those 5 business that we consider the most lucrative business models, we created Keynote and PowerPoint templates, and we show you how to build a perfect offer inside of each of those 5 business models. So if you don't even know where to start, grab one of these 5, go close a deal, and then go do a great job for the client using the models that we're going to teach you. Like, for example, book marketing, or strategic advising, or digital marketing, or product marketing, or video or webcast marketing. Listen, even if you don't know anything about any of those, inside of our system, we've got training to teach you how to deliver an amazing service, even if you have no idea where to start. And once again, just as a reminder, this can work for you in any business, any industry. We haven't found an industry this didn't work in. We've got relationships covered, we got mindset covered, we got health and fitness covered, and certainly a lot of people out there helping business owners as well. Some of our most successful consultants are women working with women. Some of our most successful consultants aren't even in the United States. They're working in countries all the way across the world. Shoot, we've had people invest in the system across Africa and Australia, okay, in Europe, and Eastern Europe, and Western Europe, and Asia, all the places across the world, because again, the fundamentals work because you're working fundamentals that have been proven to work over and over and over again. When would now be a great time to start making the kind of money that you want to make? How about now, okay? So once again, we got all 5 modules, plus the transcripts, action books, MP3s, plus everything you need to run a successful coaching, consulting, advising business, including all the scripting, all the emails, all the proposals, all the agreements. Listen, if you've ever experienced that frustration of not knowing what just happened with the deal that you were hoping to close, all that goes away when you start using the proposal toolkit that we've got in front of you. Again, we did the work for you, which is awesome. Okay, but to use the favorite term, there is more. Now, you may be asking us, look, Ed, I got all that and I love it, but I'm wondering, how do I get people when they come to my website or to a client's website to actually take action, to put their name in, or to even buy a product? Because maybe you're wanting to implement some of this digital marketing stuff on behalf of a client, or maybe you want to use this to go ahead and get your own folks to come to your website so that they can start to work with you. Well, we got you covered there. We have a new training that's called Click Convert. We're going to show you how to use a system called Click Funnels, okay, to just drag and drop and start building beautiful pages that not only help your client, but also help you to get a bunch of new customers. The second thing you're going to get is a brand new system that we call Money Phone. We talked about this a little bit, but we're right now, Mike and I are closing 5-figure deals with less than 2-minute videos right on our mobile phone. And so inside of Money Phone, we're going to show you the script for the video. We're going to show you how to take the video. We're going to show you how to send the video and how to close a deal using nothing more than the mobile phone that's sitting in your pocket right now. So think about this. What would it be like right now to make an extra $10,000 with a name that's probably already inside of your phone with a video that you can do in less than 2 minutes? You might even jump into the system today and go directly to this module so that you can learn how to do this and you can go and implement it right away. That's how great this is. But we're not even done with this stuff. You might be asking us, hey, look, I got it, but I'd love to know how to get leads and new customers into my website. Well, we got you covered there. In our opinion, the number one place to get leads, either as a consultant or for your clients, is inside of Facebook. And we've got a new program called FBAM, or Facebook Ad Mastery, which is the insider tools and tips on the best lead generation on the planet. Just a few clicks away and you're getting a sale. You're getting people to come onto assessment calls to start working with them as clients. This program is absolutely huge, and it's yours just as a bonus inside of this question. Now think about this for a minute. What's this going to do for your learning curve to help you grow your business faster and actually help other people? This is absolutely huge. We're not even done. Another bonus, 4th bonus, is what we call 2 in and 10 out. This is how to get customers using nothing more than text, personal email, and Facebook private message. So I did a test on this 2 months ago, and I was able to get 55 people to come to an event here in San Diego. 55 people to register and come to an event here in San Diego, which was an amazing event using nothing more than this 2 in, 10 out strategy that requires no marketing list. It requires no marketing experience other than the people you know or the people who follow you on Facebook. This is a total game changer. And again, this is a bonus for you as well. Bonus number 5, I already hinted at this, which is this. I give you the license to use my #1 best-selling marketing book for your promotions. You can use the book in your media posts. You can use your book for articles. You can use this book for anything. It's got everything. Fill in the blanks for you. All you got to do is fill in a few blanks for your market or your industry, write a little introduction, throw a cover on it, and we'll show you how to do that too. So if you do have a book, great. If you don't have a book, you got one now right inside of the system. Again, we teach you to fish and we give you the fish. So where are we at? We got all the modules inside of Consultant Profit, which is position, price, present, pitch, produce, transcripts, audio, action books, MP3s, and everything you need to run a consulting business, including all the scripting, email proposals, plus bonus number 1, done for you models, number 2, Click Convert, number 3, FBAM, number 4, Money Phone, number 5, 2 in, 10 out, number 6, done for you book. And listen, there's so much stuff in the system. You don't need everything, but we do want you to jump in and start implementing something and start seeing the results as soon as you can, which is why we're going to give you access to a really big, special, additional, fast implementation bonus we call Go Live and Profit. We're going to give you access to everything we use in our business to build an audience, grow a list, engage and convert them into paying customers with Facebook Live, mobile marketing, and automation. You'll see every tool, resource, and vendor we use, and we'll guide you step by step through how to start, build, or grow a business that leverages the latest what's working now and proven to get results systems without spending weeks, months, years, and thousands of dollars. That way you can stand out, get attention, attract better customers, close more deals, and increase your profits without doing more work, and we're not even done with the bonuses yet. We're going to give you a training with Mike Filsame, who is just sitting in the studio with us right here. Mike's going to walk you through how to get the most out of Webinar Jam and Ever Webinar. This is huge. If you're a digital marketing consultant, one of the fastest ways that you can get people new clients, new leads, and new business is to move them into a webinar like the one that you're doing right now. If you don't know anything about webinars, you could take this training, use the system, and go out and be a consultant very quickly, simply using what you know, okay? And Mike's gonna take you through that. Now, if you don't have Ever Webinar and you don't have Webinar Jam, we got you covered there too. We're gonna give you a 60-day, a free 60 days inside of Webinar Jam Studio, and we're gonna give you a free 60 days inside of Ever Webinar, just to make sure that you know that you're covered on that. Now, this is the big one right here, okay? So hang with me, and then we're gonna get to how you can invest in this system, and we're gonna get back to asking your questions. Some of you might be sitting on the fence, okay? So you're like, I love it, looks great, I'm super interested in starting, I don't know what the price is just yet, I'm a little bit nervous about that, that's cool. But here's what we consider the biggest bonus yet. Actually, this is the biggest bonus we've ever done, ever. Mike and I have been working together now for over 4 years, and this is by far the biggest and most powerful bonus we've ever put into a system, and I don't expect it to last, and you'll see why in just a second. We're gonna invite you here to San Diego. Now check this out, for a live studio small group training with Mike and I, okay? Now, you're gonna get an invitation to come here to Digital Cafe Studio, and the max we can have is 15 people. So that's a legitimate fire code regulation. We don't make that up. We've actually have fire inspectors who come through here because of all of our digital equipment that we've got inside of the studio. We're gonna invite you in a group of 15 people to come and work for a whole day with Mike and I. Now, you may have been to trainings before where somebody invited you to come in, they talked to you for about an hour, and then they just left. That's not us, okay? So we're here with you. We're here to work with you. We're here to look you in the eye and to get to know you. We're here to help you close deals while we're sitting here together, how to prospect, shoot. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can talk about together. We're gonna show you what's working now on a bunch of different topics that you tell us you wanna talk about. Like, for example, lead generation, follow-up, mobile marketing, Facebook marketing, funnel creation, how to pitch, open and close deals, how to create coaching groups and how to create mastermind groups, how to do your own events or close more deals, trade show, live event lead generation, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, live streaming, webcasts and webinars, how to set up a studio, how to present and perform on video, interviewing strategies, celebrity branding, product creation, publicity, book publishing, marketing, automation, outsourcing, and more. Shoot, we could probably even turn on Facebook Live or YouTube Live and stream right from the studio, right here with you to even demonstrate it. There's so many things that we can cover and so many things that we'd love to help you with, but you just need to come to San Diego and do it with us. Now, because this bonus is worth so much, this is the limited one, and I'll show you how you can get inside of the system, but you're gonna get ready to do that very quickly because this one will sell out, and the last time we opened it up, it completely sold out, okay? Now, past in-studio events, real numbers, by the way, $5,000 to $6,000 we typically charge to come in a small group to this event, okay? That's a bonus. This is a bonus coming in here, and if you wanna work with Mike and I for one day, personally, that's $30,000, okay? So let's wrap it up real quick. Okay, you want to register now. I'm going to give you the link in just a second. You're going to want to register now because that one-day coaching we currently have limited to 45. So we can do 15 people. We're going to do we're going to open up 3 more dates. The last time we opened this up, it totally sold out. So we're going to open up 3 more dates for you to come, so you want to get in now. That's what we have scheduled right now. So just to wrap it up real quick, you get all the systems inside of Consult and Profit: position, price, present, pitch, produce. You get the transcripts, action books, MP3s. Look at all the stuff that you get in this. You get everything you need: the scripting, the emails, the proposals, the agreements. You get the bonuses, the done-for-you consulting models. You get Click Convert. You get Facebook ad marketing. You get Money Phone. You get 2 in and 10 out. You get the done-for-you book, which, by the way, any of those bonuses are worth the entire investment in the program, just those, and you get them as bonuses inside this. You get Go Live and Profit, Webinar Jam, Ever Webinar plus training with Mike Filsame, and then finally you get the one-on-one day with Mike and I right here in the studio. And by the way, remember that checklist I gave you? Those 8 things? Check this out. Inside of the system that we just gave you, the checklist is done. You got a positioning, you got pricing, you got presenting, you got everything you need to pitch and close deals, you got great delivery and follow-up, you got a book, you got scripts and objection counters, and you got a team. Plus, you get a one-on-one coaching with Mike and I, which brings me to the last thing, which is this. You might be asking yourself, hey, what's the price of the program? Okay, let's get to this, and then we'll open up the cart and we'll get the first 45 in so that we can start working with you right now. Everything inside of the system, when you add it all up together, is a total no-brainer in my opinion right here at this price, which is $3,997. Look, think about this for a minute. I'm going to teach you how to close deals that start at 5,000 bucks. Okay, so if all you did was enrolled right now, you got into the system, you just closed one deal, you already made $1,000 off of a $4,000 investment, or 25% on your $4,000 investment into this program. But what if you did that every single month? Just 5,000 bucks. One deal in your spare time for $5,000 every single month. That's $60,000 at the end of the year. Imagine what you'd do right now with an extra $60,000. Maybe pay off some debt, maybe put some money in your kids' college, maybe take a great vacation, maybe buy a car. Shoot, you could buy a new home with an extra $5,000 every single month for a really, really amazing home payment. But we're gonna do something amazing for you right now. That's not even your price. We're gonna totally cut this in half and give it to you for an incredible discount, which is this. You can get in right now for 3 investments of $727 or just one single investment of $1997. That, by the way, is a total no-brainer. We charge way more than that just for the 1 day in studio training, which is the reason why you're going to need to get in right now. So there should be a button that just appeared over to my right. Click that button, get inside of the system right now. I'm telling you, these will go very quickly. The last time we opened this up, they went like that, okay? So get inside of the system, and I'm gonna give you one more reason to get inside of the system as we close up and go back to the Q&A, which is this. Think about this. It just takes one deal to close up to cover the cost of this training. I'm going to teach you how to do $4,000 and $5,000 deals. We've got students of ours who are closing $30,000, $35,000. We had one send in a $109,000 deal. So this is possible for you. And half of the people who came into our system never did a consulting deal ever before. Okay, so that problem is going to go away for you. But let's get inside of the system and let's get implementing as quickly as possible. If all you do is simply get into the system and follow their lead, I believe you'll get your investment back very quickly. Like Jim House, who's closing $5,000 deals and $35,000 deals. But check this out. We're going to give you a full guarantee. Look, you have 30 days to get inside of the system, try everything out, use the tools, use the book, try to get everything done. Look, if you're not totally blown away by everything that you get and receive, you can send everything back. You'll get a full refund, and we can absolutely still be friends. You can use everything inside of the system in your business or a client's business. You can charge whatever you want. You can keep all the money. We don't charge any fees or franchise fees. It's absolutely yours. Remember, successful business owners and consultants take action, and assuming you're the kind of person who takes action, we think you're going to do great. All we ask of you, the only thing, is send us your success story, which we think is right around the corner when you use these tools. Shoot, if all you did was just close a deal for $2,000, that's way less than half of what I'm going to teach you how to do. You'll get your money back, and you'll get a huge return on your investment when you do that every single month. Let's jump into the questions. By the way, click the button over here to the right. You have 2 options. It's $19.97, or you get the 3 pay. You can get in for less than $730. You have the 30-day guarantee, but I'm going to tell you, these are going to start to go very fast. In fact, they are going very fast. And so now's the time to get inside of the system and get started and start asking your questions. Once you get invested in the system, come back and ask your question, and Mike and I are ready to work with you. Mike?
Wow. All right. So we've already got sales coming in, and the next thing that I wanted to, and you'll want to hand those over to me because I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the questions. So first of all, we're already seeing orders are going down. We've already had 4 go. So here's the deal. When those bonuses are gone, that again means you get to come here with Ed Rush and myself here in the studio. And I will tell you that when those are gone, they're gone. Now, if you're wondering, well, if you don't want to travel, or let's say you're in a foreign country, you can't make it here for some reason, we are going to schedule a virtual only day for people who cannot fly for some reason, whether it's health or distance or whatever that is. However, I will tell you, 15 people at a time with Ed Rush and myself. That means you're going to get an immersive experience. We're going to help you hone your messages. We're going to help you get and close deals even faster. And I also wanted just to remind you that, again, every single thing in the system is available right now. It is a digital downloadable system. You've got the videos, you've got the audios, you've got PDFs, you've got transcripts, you've got the guides. And I have, I just printed off the PDFs myself. I had them nicely formatted. But what we include for you and what Ed has created is his formulas, step by step. So if you don't know how to get and close a deal, well, here we go. We've got the perfectly presented. These are beautiful keynote presentations that you can fill in the blank and replace with your own images, okay? There are pre-written scripts, proposals that you can use, not just for the business types that we give you, but you can use it for any industry anywhere in the world. Now I'll go to the close-up camera here so you can see this a little bit closer, but there it is. So this is the contract. We've already written it for you, okay? So we've given you 5 different business models. Here's digital marketing consultant, book marketing consultant, product marketing consultant, strategic advisor, and video and webcast consultant. Now, if you don't want to do any of those, it's fine. All of these strategies are adaptable for any industry anywhere in the world. And also remember, we're giving you the scripts that you use to get and close deals, like follow-up calls, appointment setting. So I want to just let you know right now, we're already down to 38 units. So you want to get inside here right now. They're going quickly. And again, when the bonuses are gone, that's when we're going to take that away. It's off the table. It's the only way you're going to be able to come in and spend time with Ed Rush and myself and my team here in beautiful San Diego. So the next thing that I want you to know is you have access to all this instantly. It's a digital system, and you get the ongoing training and the bonuses that we're giving you, including the 2 tickets to our upcoming live event.
Yeah, so just to welcome a couple people, Yusuf said he's in, Wes said great offer and price. Barbara says she wants the system, so get in. Barbara, we're going to do that digital training for you if you want to. You're going to get everything immediately. I'll talk through what happens when you enroll in just a second. Avilio said hopefully he got the bonus. You did, so you got inside of that first group. So
congratulations. Yeah, I see them. They're coming in right now. So again, get inside here. You can see as the orders are coming in, the bonuses are going away, and I want to thank you for getting in here. So again, when you're in, just say I'm in so we can publicly acknowledge you.
Yeah, right.
We've got look at this. We're getting them from Colombia. We got Dario just got in. We
Columbia,
got Duanich. Yeah,
Columbia.
no, from Colombia, Colombia the country. Okay, from Cali, Villa de Cuaca. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Good job on the Spanish.
All right, and then we got Duanich from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you. Great to have you. We got Roger H.N. from Tauranga, New Zealand. Fantastic.
Yeah,
this
welcome.
is great. We got Esra from the UAE from Dubai. Congratulations.
Wow.
And again,
That's great.
Here's what's great. We've got you covered. So if for any reason you can't attend the physical in-person training, we are going to do a virtual day as well just for you.
All right.
Okay. And
So-
I want to make sure, go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, so just so you know what happens when you get into the process. So first of all, you're going to click the button just over to your right that says, yes, I want Consultant Profit Now. That will take you to another page. As you scroll down that page, you're going to get 2 options. You can get in today for less than $730, which is an absolute no-brainer. Plus, you've got a full 30-day guarantee. What that means is you can get in, give it a shot, try it out, go close your first deal. Okay, if for some reason you're not totally blown away, you get a full refund, which means there's no reason not to at least give it a shot right today. At least get in and use the system. You get the book, you get all the bonuses, you get all the scripting, all the tools, all the templates, everything that you need in your consulting arsenal. Plus, you get to schedule that one day with Mike and I here in the studio, which is also going to be
And they're going away quickly.
absolute
They're
blast.
going down very,
but
very
you
quickly.
need to do that now. So make sure that you click that button to get invested and get started in the system. Once you do that, once you process your order, what's going to happen is you're going to immediately get an email that takes you to a membership site where all the resources are already stacked and the upcoming training is scheduled right inside of that system. So make sure that you click that and then get into the system so that you can get started as fast as you can. Mike
Phil
Sam has got something
stuff.
for us.
Get off thanks, guys. Let me see, move right over here for you guys. All right, guys, so I want to give you a quick case study. As I'm seeing here, we're more than half the units are sold. We're under 30 left for about 15 minutes, and you can get started today for about $727, I think is what it is. Let me tell you what happened when I was working with Mike and Ed. One of the things that you saw in here about the time for money slides was a big discussion that Ed and I had, and he really helped me understand that, why would you say something like that, Mike? Why would you ever draw a line in the sand and say you'll never sell your time for money? Everything you're doing is time for money. If you were able to just have 2 consulting clients and make $1 million a year, would you do it? And I said, yes, of course. So he said to me, so it's not about time for money, because everything you do is time for money. So he gave me a couple of things to try. He said, I want you to just try this out and see how it works next time. And set a price that you think is going to be your value for what you know, what you can do for your clients, not the value of what you think your time is worth, because that's a terrible way to look at it. What you know in conviction, what you can do for your clients as a consultant or an advisor or a coach. I like to consider myself a consultant. So I was at a mastermind. In fact, Mike Koenigs was there as well. And there was about 50 people there, and we were all sharing for 3 days. I had an opportunity to go up and speak for just 15 minutes. I had somebody come up to me and say, hey, Mike, I love what you're doing. I'd love to pick your brain and get a little bit more information from you. I've used some of their word tracks, and I just flipped it, and I said, great. I would love to let you know how you can work with me. When would be a good time to talk about that? We ended up doing that, and I said, all right, let's see how this goes. There's no way the guy's going to say yes to this. I said, here's the deal. It'll be $25,000. I'll fly out to you for 2 days. You have to pay for the airfare and the hotel, and here's what I'm going to do for you. And I sent him a whole document. I said, and you can just reply back to me in text or email and let me know. Within 5 minutes, it came back and it said, deal, where do I wire the money and what date can I fly you down? And I said to myself, this is great. I get to go to another city, all expenses paid, for $25,000, and I called up Ed later, and by the way, the client that we helped ended up sending us a great case study on what they were able to do with their webinar, so I felt really good about that. And I said, you know, I really haven't been doing my job to help people in this world if I think I was going to do it all digitally. So what you're going to be able to do with this course is, no matter what you're doing in your business, there's always something that's generating leads, and you're doing something online, and you're going to maybe sell a product, or you're just doing it just for the consulting. But if you haven't considered the opportunity of what another 6 figures or multiple 6 figures can be done with your current income with coaching and consulting, and how easy it is. I didn't even have to sell. I just used the scripts and the word tracks that Ed gave me. I wasn't even the best student at it, and it fell into my lap. Now I know that I have a name and people wanted to work for me, but I don't necessarily think that's what it was. I think it was an opportunity that I had to get in front of people and show them that I had some knowledge in something. So there has to be time. I saw somebody in here say, what do I do when people come up to me at the gym and they say, I want to pick your brain? Whenever somebody says that to you, hey, can I pick your brain about something? What that's telling you is you have some knowledge that people are looking to pay for. And that could be a $2,500 hour, a $500 hour, or a $5,000 day, or a $3,000 day, or whatever you feel that you can contribute to those people. Don't let those opportunities slip up. What you're going to learn from Mike and Ed is the way to handle those situations by text, by phone, by Skype, by email, in person, and the proper word tracks to say, and you're going to have to keep the smile off your face, because it's surprising how when you say the right things, when somebody is engaging with you that wants your information, how to get them to pay for it. People understand that what you can share with them is going to have a return on investment. So any business person never really objects to those things. When they want to work with you, be proud that you have the ability to help them and you can get paid for it. And when you do one-on-one consulting and advising and coaching, you can really tailor it to their business so they're willing to pay more. So I wanted to share that with you guys for $727 to get started with this, with their money-back guarantee. And just remember, the training that Ed said that I'm going to be doing with you guys for the Webinar Jam and Ever Webinar, it's not just to show you how the dashboard works. It's for how you use it as a consultant, how you can use Webinar Jam and even better, Ever Webinar to get leads, to prime them so they have all of the information they need, so that all they got to do is fill out an application with you and get on the phone. I have many people that I'm actually teaching that strategy to as well right now, so I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. That's as a bonus for being on this webinar you're seeing right now. So if you're seeing this webinar and that bonus is there, it's all yours. So I'm going to turn it back over to Mike and Ed. Guys, get started. I can't wait to see many of you in person if I have that opportunity as well, and even be part of that ClickFunnels training as well that they said. I've got some really cool stuff I'm going to be sharing with you. So back to these guys.
This is great. Well, thank you, Mike. And the bonuses are declining very, very quickly. I'm watching them go out, and we want to welcome some folks who have decided to invest with us here. So I'm going to start. We've got Jody. She's from Larkspur, California. Thank you, Jody, for joining us. This is fantastic.
Yeah, welcome Donald from Scottsdale, Kenneth from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
We got Evelio from Ocala, Florida. Thank you for joining us.
Ocala,
so, okay.
Sean from Suwanee, Georgia. Let's see, Joel from Windermere, Florida. And keep going.
We got Edwin from Big Fork, Montana. Congratulations. I'm from the Midwest originally. It's nice to have you here.
You're You're from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So
didn't I say Minnesota? I said the
he said
Midwest.
Montana.
Well, Montana's the Midwest, isn't it? Or is that the West? Yeah.
So
what do I know?
Thank you so much for joining us. That's not the whole list, by the way. We'll get to your name in just a second. Before we do that, thank you. So many of you are asking for the slides. Here's how you can download the slides from today's presentation. I want to make sure that you get those because so many of you want to use those and use those scripts. Now, I would do this in 2 steps if I was you. First of all, the slides are available at the link that's over to the right that says Go Get Consultant Profit right now. So when you click that link, when you scroll to the bottom, you're going to see that there's several links down at the bottom. 2 of those links say to get the presentation slides. 2 of those links are payment options for this particular product. What I would recommend that you do is click one of those payment option links first to secure your system and make sure you get the bonuses.
Right.
Then go in and get the presentation slides, download those and start to use them. And once you get inside of the system, start using the tools, start implementing so that you can start making money right now from the system.
Yeah, we've got, like Ed was saying, we've got people who get inside the program, and we've had, our record has been within 2 hours, okay, that people have all actually gone out and gotten deals. And you witnessed that today. If you were watching the entire presentation, we had one of our members actually, or one of our viewers, actually secured an appointment just using one of the strategies.
Yeah.
So we're giving you dozens of strategies and scripts and tools that you get immediately when you get inside here. So remember, right now there are less than 15 units left. So we've already filled up 2 of our bonus days, which is great news for us. It also means it's declining quickly.
Now's a great
time to get inside, get all these tools
my
and
goodness,
resources.
I just keep, so we have a spreadsheet that gets populated when someone invests in the system, and then we get an email, and I just keep seeing more and more people get in.
This is great.
Now's the time to get in. Remember, there is a 30-day guarantee, and you can get started for less than $730. There's no better system and no better time. We legitimately considered selling this course for $5,000. Okay, we're not doing that today. You can get in for less than $730, which is a no-brainer. Plus, you get to come into the one day with Mike and I in a small group of 15 people or less and do a training which is totally going to change your life. We're looking forward to working with you. You just need to take the step to invest in the system and get started today. Mike?
Our goal is to compress time and help you get and close deals even faster. I'll actually turn to this camera right now, and again, just go through some of the things that you can expect, which is when you get inside the system. Number 1, you're going to have a welcome video. You're going to have a link so you can actually secure and schedule your bonus day with Ed Rush and myself here in San Diego. Again, we are going to be doing a remote version if for some reason you can't travel here. We also didn't even mention this. When it comes to support and helping you, we also have a private Facebook group. It's a place where you can network, you can connect with other members of Consultant Profit, like-minded, abundance-minded people just like you, who are going to help you share strategies, share techniques. So what's working now? You're going to see examples, and in the past when we've done this, people have actually shared their contracts. They've shared what kind of deals are going out, what kind of prices that they're getting for their services. And again, this will work for any industry, any business. Anytime you need to communicate with someone, connect with them, present, make a proposal, and get paid, Consultant Profit will work for you. It's a proven system, and it's built on top of a foundation of what Ed and I are actively doing. We are active consultants and coaches right now, and advisors. So we're not just out there talking about it. We're doing this for real, and we're sharing our best practices with you. And this kind of knowledge, wisdom, experience, and expertise isn't available in this format anywhere else in the world. So again, I want to just, we have some more people just joined us. I just saw Randy just jumped in a moment ago. Congratulations, Randy. You qualify for the bonus as well. We got, it's Dwayne from Brooklyn, New York. Well, we sit, and then Dario from Cali. We talked to, and here we go. We got more. We got James from Nairobi, Kenya. Unbelievable. That was amazing. Congratulations. We also have Dr. Linden from Inkster, Michigan. Congratulations.
Welcome back.
And thank you.
Yeah.
This is great to have you.
It's so good to see so many of you joining us again. Now's the time to get in. Let's get into a few questions that you asked. I really appreciate the great questions. We're going to cover as many as we can. By the way, for those that we don't get to, we've got our team inside of chat, and they're answering your questions
and we've
specifically.
got, let's put up the phone number. We have a phone number that you can call right now. We'll display that. So if you have any questions, you can either use chat with us. We're going to answer as many as we can, or just pick up the phone. Go ahead, call. We have a team that's standing by to answer your questions. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, so feel free to call that number. By the way, if you have any questions at all regarding the course, what's in the course, there's so much inside of the system that we really didn't have time to go into great detail on everything, because we wanted to get back to the training with you and really start to help you specifically with your questions. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to call. The other thing you can do is just invest in the system. Your questions will be answered as soon as you log in.
That's right.
And of course, you've got a guarantee, so you're totally covered. But what we think is going to happen when you get into the system is you're going to start implementing it. You're going to be blown away by what happens in your life and business. You're going to come to San Diego. We're going to become great friends, and your business is going to take off. Like so many people that you heard from today, like Jim House or like Irene or like Mayor Glorifield, or the other people who are inside of our system. We want you to be one of our success stories. And again, we don't ask for a royalty or a commission. We don't even have a monthly fee or anything like that. You get into the system, you get it, you go off and you become successful. The only thing we ask is that when you go off and become rich and famous, you just remember us little people and send us your success story so that we can enjoy your success with you. We do celebrate those.
But do it before, because we're down to 8 bonuses right now. So get in here before we run out.
All right, so a question from Edwin says, it sounds like this course is for those who want to be marketing consultants. That's not his area of interest. Does this course apply to other areas of marketing? Edwin, we've had people from every business model that you could possibly think of. Remember, it's fundamentals, blocking and tackling. The words are what matter, not the business model. Now, what we did do is we created some bonuses around some common business marketing programs like book marketing or digital marketing. You can take those, you can simply modify them for your type of business. So for example, we have consultants who are in the health and the fitness and the nutrition world. We have consultants that are in the relationship or the have better sex or get to know people better. We have folks who are in the networking world. We have folks who are in automotive, who are in consulting across the world, doing a ton of different things. And so remember, it's the system. It's not necessarily the business that you use a system. And I'll tell you, Mike and I have been teaching this stuff now for over 4 years. We haven't found one business model that doesn't work for this. So as long as there's a problem someone wants to solve, there's a consulting model for that. But again, if that's a question for you and you're not totally sure, invest in the system, lock yourself in for the bonus. And once you get in the system, if it's not everything that you wanted, you're always welcome to return it, since you have a guarantee. But otherwise, you're going to
and there's less than 6 bonuses left. So get in here right now, okay? They are going quickly. So this is very, very exciting. Exciting for you, because here's what I love. What did Davey just say?
Says, I love the idea of using pre-done PowerPoint and Keynote slides. Again, if you've ever experienced sitting down at a blank PowerPoint and Keynote, you've got a talk coming up and you're not sure what to do. I certainly have done that. It's great to have something pre-done, and it's built on the fundamentals that work. So here's the thing. We use what we teach. So for example, today's presentation was built on a model that I'm going to be teaching you in Module 4 inside of Consult and Profit. So now would be a really great time to get in. Plus, the bonuses are going away, so it's very important for you to click that button and secure your seat into the one-day training. Again, you got a guarantee you can get in for less than $730, which makes this a total no-brainer. Mike?
But we've got the other bonuses as well. Remember, you got the course, which is worth way more than what we're charging. You got the bonus with Ed and I, which again, our minimum price for a coaching session is $5,000. So we've dropped the price because we know we're going to get a group of people at a time, which is a great deal. When we get hired together or one-on-one, we're $30,000 per day.
Yeah.
So we're not only demonstrating this, we're showing you how we've been able to do this. And look, you might look at us and think we're special, but we're not. I grew up in a
special.
Well, you're special, but I'm not. I grew up I grew up lower middle class. Okay, I learned these skills, and this is about time compression. So if you think about how much time, how much energy, how many resources it would take just to have a presentation put together. How much do you think that would cost to write it and think through all this stuff and prove it over years and years? And then how much do you think it would cost you if you had to design and come up with the proposals that we're giving you and the templates and the contracts? It could be overwhelming, but we're giving you the equivalent of a business that you can launch in as little as a couple days. Most people do it in a couple of weeks. They're out and they're getting and closing deals, which could be before your first payment is due. So remember, you can get inside here. And Wendy just joined us.
Welcome, Wendy.
From Mena, South Dakota. So thank you.
So many folks just joining us in the system. It's great, by the way, Mike, to see that. Exciting on our end to see the folks who we're going to get to know, really look in the eye and work with you personally. We're very excited to do that. Again, I'll go back to what I said in the beginning of the discussion of what you get. Mike and I are very interested in going really deep and long with you. We're not interested in just jumping into a system and seeing you move on to something else. We really want to work with you, and we want to work with you to see the success that you're going to have. That's why we're inviting you here. I mean, it's a full day out of our time. We charge a lot of money for those particular days. We're making them available as bonuses, at least the 3 days that we've made available for the few folks that we have left for those. And so we want to invite you to come and work with us, but we really want to invite you to get inside of a system that has changed hundreds of people's lives, and we know it's going to change yours as well. We'd love to see your success story and to hear from you. You do that by clicking the button, and this is going to go away very soon.
Yep, we're almost out of bonuses right now. So that's great for everyone who's gotten inside here. It won't be great for you if you don't take action right now. So let's take a look at some of the other great questions that have been popping up here. I'm going to just pop them up. So we've got... oh, here's one. Clarice asks, this is a good one, how can I move from coming up with ideas to closing a new deal with a returning client? Okay, that's one of our favorite topics.
Great. So why don't you start on that one? I'm going to get a sip of water because my throat's going.
Great. I'll turn to this camera right here. So here's what my opinion is and what we've done, which is there's nothing better, first of all, than having a happy customer who comes back and wants to do more work with you. And what we do is we use, again, I use the exact same strategy that I used earlier to go out and get new clients, which is the video. I start out with the exact same slide, which I gave you in the scripts, which is there anything I can help you with today? Okay, that will start a conversation, and invariably they'll say, hey, there's something else that I would like help with. Okay, and are you still interested in, and it could be making money with. So when you know a client, you already know what their pain points are. Or what I'll do is I'll ask a couple of Ed's questions that we give you the scripts for in a text message just to start the conversation. And invariably they say, hey, can we just talk for a second? So what I use is text, and what I can do is communicate with 5 or 10 different people at a time. And then when I know they're interested, I make that simple video that explains what we have. And here's what's great. I can take what normally would have taken a half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour, compress it down into 1 or 2 minutes, and that same basic pattern and formula can work over and over again. So my phone becomes the equivalent of an entire call center and an entire group of people who normally would have had made phone calls for me. And again, you've got a mobile phone right now, so what's cool is we're giving you, and this is why we give, they're the phone cash scripts, okay? They're made for you to be able to adapt. And again, this works in any industry and any business. So that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about it. Anything else that you wanted to add?
Thank you. Yeah, so first of all, when you get inside of the system, go to module number 3, which is present. It gives you the list of 30 X-ray questions. That's the place to start. You're gonna ask your client, for example, what are you doing now to get leads? What are you doing? What would you like to be doing? How's that working for you? Start those kind of questions. I'm not totally sure the business model, but the questions will fit for you, whatever the model is. Start asking, what are you doing? How's that working for you? What would you like to be doing? And then you could just simply say something like this, and Clarice, this is important for you as a consultant who's now going to be higher paid consultant because of the system that you're about to get access to. So because your prices are going up, it's important for you to help your new client or your old client understand that as a new client, you're going to be charging more. And so you could just say, hey, look, just so you know, my fees have gone up. I've been doing this for a while. I've got more experience. It's good for you and it's good for me. The bottom line is I'm more because I know more and I'm able to give you more. And I know that moving forward, that's going to work out great for both of us. So make sure you pre-position the fact that you're going to be charging more. And again, all that's inside the system for you to take advantage of when you click the button over to the right. Now's a great time to do that, by the way. Some of you are asking questions like, for example, Mike, who said, oh man, I wasn't able to see a portion of the discussion on what was offered, but I want to get inside of the system. Mike, we got you totally covered. When you click the orange button that's off to the right that says get inside of the system, all that does is open up a new page that explains everything you get. It talks about all the bonuses. You can scroll down to the bottom. Of course, you can always invest in the system because you've got a 30-day guarantee. That'll lock you in for the bonus, and then you can make sure that you get inside of the system and do all that later. Okay?
Very exciting.
Cool.
So get inside because as of right now, we've got 1 bonus left. So get inside there and activate it, and then we will have filled up our 3 days, which is very exciting. So let's see what other questions we have. I know I saw a couple of them over here, Ed. Well, the other thing, remember, is you can get started for as little as $727. You've got no risk. We give you a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. And when you sign up, what you're going to do is you'll be given a link to the membership site. You have access to the entire course. You have access to register to come to San Diego and spend time with Ed Rush and myself here. We're going to give you access and a link to join our private Facebook group where there's going to be support, and you're going to meet other members of the program.
All right.
All that information is on the order page when you click that orange button.
So I'm going to take 2 questions right out of chat from Hillary.
Okay.
2 good questions, and I'll cover them fairly quickly. So Hillary says, to close a deal for certain services like marketing, how good do I need to be at marketing? And talked about that a little bit, Hillary, when I talked about the speaker who's an amazing speaker who hired me to help him learn to speak, and the digital marketing who's amazing at it, way better than me, who hired me to do it. And I'll tell you, Hillary, just the training, the extra training that we provide inside of the system, like the Facebook marketing consult section, or the section on ClickFunnels, or the section on EverWebinar, just those trainings, just taking those will give you an advantage or an unfair advantage in the marketplace, because you'll know how to do certain things that you won't know how to do. The other thing that we do is we provide a really cool community for you. So for example, if you don't know the answer to one question that your client asks you, you don't always have to answer it right there. You can always go, you know what, let me go back and check with my team and just see how we can help you with that, and you can come back and get an answer. And so the point is, you don't need to know everything, you need to know the right questions, which brings me to your second question, which is this: how do you charge for the initial consulting session before the close of the big deal or after? And I'll tell you, Hillary, I don't do initial consulting sessions. I do sessions where I ask people questions. So I don't actually sit down and solve someone's problem until we're working together. What I do is I sit down and I ask them questions. And again, that's inside of module number 3, which is present. It talks about how to ask really good questions. But one of the biggest mistakes that consultants make is, you know, a business owner will say, well, I really want to get leads and I really want to get customers, or somebody who's interested in like health, they'll say, you know, I just want to get in shape and I want to lose 10 pounds. And we're so excited about our topic that we literally just start giving them all of the information right there. That's the time to ask questions, and then to go, okay, well, you know what? We can solve that problem for you. So let's get started working together, and we can help you solve that fitness problem, or we can help you solve that business problem. So Hillary, all that stuff happens after the deal is made. That's the point of doing the deal. You're getting paid for your knowledge, your time, your expertise, and your experience, and your time. All right?
Okay, well, I have one other thing here. So first of all, we've actually run out of bonuses, but in the background, what I've done here is I was chatting with our COO, Davey, who I asked him this question, and we're definitely gonna do it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up 2 more bonus days, and that will be it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up, so we've got 30 extra bonus days. We've made that extra time. So I'm gonna make sure that Mike sets up the system here. So 30. For 30, so that's 2 extra days we've agreed to do with Davey. So we'll open those up, but we just want you to know that this is an opportunity. If for some reason you didn't jump inside the bonus, we're actually gonna open it up for 2 more days. That's 30 extra units, and we'll make that available for you right now. So what we'll do, okay.
So here's, and some of you are asking, how do you schedule those days in San Diego? So do you want to walk through the process real quick?
I absolutely will. I'll actually turn to this camera right now. So here's what you can do. And by the way, if you have any other questions, there is a lower third that will explain to you. You can call a phone number and ask our team any questions that if we haven't covered anything here on this webinar today. So we'll put that phone number up on the screen right now below me. And what I will explain to you is how you take advantage of that special bonus. Okay, so number 1, what you can do is when you sign up and you register, you are going to get a access membership, password, and user ID for the Consultant Profit System. And inside there, you'll be able to click on a link to register for the bonus day with Ed Rush and myself. We have multiple days available. If for some reason you can't make it to San Diego, we are going to be doing a virtual training day into the future. That'll be scheduled out as well. Okay, so you've got 2 choices. You definitely want to come to the studio if you can do it by any stretch of the imagination and spend the day here with Ed and myself. Now, the other thing that we're giving you access to, again, is our private Facebook group where you get additional support and training from our community. You're going to meet and be able to network with other members of Consultant Profit, share best practices and strategies and techniques. What's working now for you? It's also where Ed and I poke our heads in as well to support you. And the other thing that you're getting, again, is an additional bonus day event here with Ed Rush and myself. All the details, all the dates are inside that membership, or inside the link where you can register for that. So the most important thing that you need to know is we're here to help you build and grow your business, give you that unfair advantage that you've been looking for, maybe that one thing, but it's also about mindset. Because getting and closing bigger deals has a lot more to do with how you value yourself, your own time, and the words you use. And those words come in the format of not just what comes out of your mouth, but if you want to market using webcasts, for example, we've got bonuses that we include from Mike Filsame, for example, on how to use Webinar Jam, either for you in your business or doing it for other people as well with some of the pre-made business types that we give you. but we're giving you the techniques, the scripts, the strategies, the presentations, the documentation to go out and get and close deals. But the most important thing that you're going to be equipped with is how to think and what to say. And again, that'll work on Facebook. It'll work online, offline, if you decide you want to present and speak. All of these techniques are included inside the system. And remember, the training doesn't end there. It also continues when you come here and you spend time with Ed Rush and myself. Ed?
All right, Mike, thank you for that. Listen, I want you to imagine for just a minute, I'm going to start you inside the system with $5,000 deals, and that's the bottom of the rung. Typically, our folks are going out at 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, 25 or 30. We've seen deals all the way up to $109,000. We've seen $55,000 deals, $85,000 deals. We've got 4 years plus of success stories under our belt. So we know what our students can do, and we know what people can do from scratch. So we've had people with no consulting experience, very little marketing experience, with a very small Rolodex go out and close some really big deals. And we've had some folks who have had years, in certain cases 30, 40 years worth of consulting experience, who have come into the system and significantly bumped up their income. And so this will work for you if you're totally new or you're experienced. But I want you to imagine just for a minute $10,000. That's all. So it's either one deal for 10 or it's 2 deals for $5,000 every single month in your spare time. Okay, and I'm going to show you inside the system on how to deliver, so it doesn't, so that it really creates a lot of freedom inside of your life. But I just want you to imagine just for a minute what an extra $10,000 a month would do for you, for your life, and for your business. That's possible for you. I talked to one of our students, Carrie Smith, actually about a month ago, and she's at the point right now where she has more deals than she could possibly even shake a stick at. That's a really,
problem to have.
Really good. Literally, it was actually a problem for her. She's like, I've got too many deals right now. That's a great problem, okay? And I want to help create that problem for you. But the point is, an extra $10,000 a month, I want you to imagine right now what that would do for you and for your life. That's $120,000 this year. That's a 6-figure bump in your income right now. What would that do for you? What would that do for your income? What would that do for your family? What would it do for your living situation? What would it do for maybe your debt? What would it do for your future, your vacation, the kind of fun that you want to have with your family? What would that do just for some peace of mind? That's possible for you, and we're really encouraging you to get inside of the system and start implementing it as soon as you can. And the best part about it is you can get in for less than $730. You've got a 30-day guarantee. You can get inside, and before the bonuses are all out, you can get inside the day and actually come here and work with Mike and I one-on-one. You get all of the incredible things and tools inside of the system. Listen, one proposal is enough to pay for this entire system. That's all you need, but you need to take action. You need to get off the fence, click the button, scroll down to the bottom, select your payment option. You're totally covered either way, and you're going to see we have inside of the fifth module. We have something we call under promising and over delivering. That means you say less and you give more, and you're going to see inside of this system, Mike and I believe in that. There are some things that we're going to teach you how to do that we haven't even talked about, but you're going to see us actually demonstrate it. Right. And then when you come to San Diego, you're going to see why it works so well. We've got extra trainings that we haven't even talked about. So much extra stuff for you, but you need to take the step to get off the fence and go invest in it right now.
Speaking of that, Barbara's inside here from Alexandria,
Hey, welcome,
Virginia.
Barbara.
Thank you. I know I saw you in chat. Saying, I want to get in, I want to get in. Well, you're in. Congratulations. That's great. That's what I love to see. And I also want to welcome some of our other members here. We got Louis here from Brunei, France.
Yeah, welcome.
Wow, so this is fantastic. So if you're wondering, will this work for me? What countries? Where would it be? And I'll actually solo here to this camera. We've got Esther. Let's see. We got Francine from Truckee, California. We have GL from Quebec, Canada. So we've got lots and lots of friends from Canada as well. So get inside here right now before our last bonuses. These are the last ones we're going to open up. We've got Jill from Alameda, California. We've got Chris from Bellevue, Washington, joined us. We've got Walter from Maurice, Louisiana. Fantastic. We've got Serena from Victoria Park, Washington, Australia. So thank you from our friends from Down Under. We got Nicola from Ontario, Toronto, Canada, one of my favorite, unbelievably beautiful cities. Ed and I go there frequently. The oysters are fantastic at Rodney's. We've got Brad from Manchester, Georgia. So thank you for jumping in, having the trust and the confidence and the faith in Ed Rush and myself to be able to help you build and grow your businesses. So
All right,
great.
get inside the system. We're about to wrap this up, and we're going to invite Mike, Phil Same over here to wrap this up with us. By the way, Hillary asked a question, which basically she said, if no one knows of me, should I advertise or should I even get contacts of people to text or inquire with to ask off of my phone? So the first thing, Hillary, is that is, in my opinion, about a 1 to 2 week problem to solve right inside of our system. So the very first module, just when you get in, is a module called Position. I'm going to show you how in 2 weeks or less you can become the guru at the top of the mountain. You're going to simply need to implement the things that we teach on how to position yourself. The second thing is you will be surprised when you get inside the system. There's a program called the 6-Figure Text Message. That is the system that we show you how to use your phone to go get deals right now. When you do the exercise, which won't take you very long, you're going to actually see a lot more opportunity inside of your contact database than you think that you currently have. So
most people just don't know how much money they're leaving on the table, and that's a huge part of what Ed and I show you how to do. Is the reason why you might not be where you are financially, where you want to be, and this is the same is true for billionaires. I was coaching one of my best friends this past week. I'll just flat out say his name is Darren Hardy from Success Magazine. I was just with him 2 days ago. I'm one of his advisors and consultants, and I showed him where he's leaving millions of dollars on the table. But it doesn't matter where you are, at what level. And I know Mike's going to come on over here. But this system will work for you. And I also want to acknowledge Jason, who actually showed up a little bit later, and he apparently must be from Toronto, Ontario.
Hello,
he
Jason.
noticed that comment I just made. But look, here, come on a little bit closer, Mike. I'm going to slide over. Okay, yeah, there you go.
The apple box.
We get the booster table for Mike. But what we're here to help you do is build and grow your business and be more successful. And we are going to help you. You got to make sure your microphone's on.
Yeah,
there we go. Are you on, sir?
I think so.
Okay. What do you got? What do you got for us, Mike?
So guys, first of all, it's been an honor. I know we've got a couple more questions that we want to go. I've been seeing in the chat a lot of you showed up late and missed out on some good training. We're going to do our best to get you the training, but the only thing is we can't guarantee that the bonuses that they put on here are going to be available. And I know that might sound a little crazy. Oh, you guys want to sell as many as you can. We will probably sell this later at the original price of $39.97. This was a very special offer for the VIP customers that Mike had, and that I wanted to be able to do the same. So this is a special. If you're seeing this webinar right now, this training webcast, you get a $2,000 discount plus some special bonuses that require Mike and Ed being in person. And it's very difficult, for that to scale. So that part is limited. So we're going to try to get you the training, but if we get you that later, don't say, okay, great, I'll watch that and decide, because then these bonuses are going to be gone. So take a leap of faith. Click that button. There's about 5 or 6 of these left while you can get started today for about $727 with a 30-day money-back guarantee. One of the interesting things, I've never seen it happen on a webinar before. People were joking, you're going past the close, you're going past the sale. I want to buy. Barbara was freaking out. Get me a link, I just want to buy now, before she even knew. That's because there's so many incredible bonuses that were added here. You don't want to miss out on any of these bonuses. So click that link. Get started. You'll still a little bit of time left here. We have about just a few more minutes while we're closing. There's about 4 or 5 or 6 of these left, and you can get started. The bonuses that I'm going to be doing is training on how you can automate your business with technology to get these leads coming to a place where they're ready to work with you, and you just use the magical word tracks and scripts that these guys have that work, that I've used, that I had to keep the smile off my face, how simple it was to make easy money. And again, I get to travel. I get, if I want to, I can do it over Skype, or if I say, hey, I want to go to Portland, I've never been there, I want to maybe go to Tampa Bay, get an all-expense paid trip, they bring my wife, and I get to help people, and I think that's something that you guys want to do. So take advantage today, $727, you can get started, 30-day money-back guarantee, and an opportunity to come in and work with these guys and myself in person. Incredible training, literally too much to list. Going down on that page, you're going to see everything you're getting. So just one more thing I want to say on that. If you came here late, when you go to that page, you're going to see in detail every single thing that Ed went over. It took him about a half hour to explain what you're getting because it's such quality stuff, and you're going to get immersed in some stuff that can really make you money. In fact, buy it, then go back and see what you're getting. It's that good of a value. You can see by the number of people that purchased it today. So I'll turn it back over to you guys, and we'll wrap
the
up
orders
last
keep
few
coming
questions.
in. Welcome Nava to the system. We're super excited for you. We only have a few more minutes, and then we're just going to close this out. So I want to answer a couple of questions. So first of all, Avilio says, is there a multi-pay option? option, absolutely click the button over to the right, scroll down to the bottom, you can see you can get in for less than $730, which not only is that discounted, that price is discounted, but that also includes the 1 day right here with Mike and I, which is going to totally blow you away. Look, it would be worth it just to come here, just to pay that, to come here just for that. Plus you get the whole system in addition to that, which is really, really amazing. Dwayne says, is this going to be available later? Dwayne, all bets are off on that one. We've already opened up our second, which camera am I looking at right now? This one?
Yep.
We've already opened up our second, a second round. Okay, so these days, look, there's only so many days that Mike and I have on our schedule. We've already scheduled 3. We're adding 2 more. These are pretty intensive days, and we get paid a lot of money to do consulting per day. So my 1 day is right around $20,000. When you put Mike and I together into a 1 day, it's about $30,000. That's legitimately what people have paid to actually come in here and work with us. So our days are pretty high valued, okay? And that's not to brag, that's just to say the reality of what it is. And so we set aside this time for a reason. We want to work with you. We really want to get to know you. We believe in having customers for life, okay? So if you come to our events, when you come here into San Diego, you're going to meet people who've been working with Mike for 5 or 10 years, who've been working with me for 6 or 7 years. You're going to meet people who've been part of our family, and that's really important to us. And so we've set aside that time to work with you individually, but that's not going to be around forever. And additionally, the price is also going to go up. And so there's a deadline for this offer. There's a limit to this offer, and that's very important for you to get in right now. So yeah, maybe available later. It might be in a different form, and there may be some bonuses that are also taken away, which is the time to do that now. If you have any other questions as we wrap this up, there is a phone number which we'll put on the screen right now. You're welcome to call and ask any of those questions. The other option too, since there is a 30-day guarantee, is you can always just click the link, get in, and make sure you guarantee yourself the bonus, and then you can ask your question after you get into the system. So guys?
Yeah, well, this is a great question that I will answer for Jason. He says, when are you guys coming to London in the UK? I love coming to London.
Yeah.
We are very expensive. We charge a lot of money, and it includes first class travel and accommodations, but we can have that conversation.
Give us a reason to come speak in London.
There you go. Or what you can do is sign up and register for the program right now, and we will visit you virtually, because we are opening up a virtual coaching and consulting day as part of this package for people who choose not to travel here or can't for some reason or another, and that will be opened up inside the membership site. We just have to get that date figured out, and it will be posted inside there. So have no worries, no matter what, we've got you covered. But I also just want to be totally transparent with you. What I just did in doing that with you, it wasn't manipulative. It was designed to accommodate you and let you know that this is how Ed and I work as coaches and consultants. And we very often either have our clients coming to us, or when we are going to them. For example, we just did a coaching deal not long ago up in Victoria, British Columbia, up in BC, in Canada. And Ed and I flew up there first class and spent a couple days with a high quality, high value client that wants to not only partner with us, put us on stages, but what we do inside this program is we teach, we educate. We're totally transparent about how we're going out, we're getting and closing deals right now, how we're working with our clients. We're sharing our best resources and tools that have taken us collectively. I've been coaching and consulting now for over 20 years. And Ed's been doing so for, I don't know exactly how long it's been for you.
It's
almost 10 years. Yeah. And Mike, a long time as well. I actually learned from Mike. He's been online longer than I have.
That's true.
So, in terms of being as an
Butterfly marketing days.
Yep, back in the old days. So here's the most important thing. We are here to help you build and grow your business. The support and the training starts today, and it goes on. And we're here, and we're looking for success stories. And I know that person could be you.
Come on.
Mike, I want to say, you said I've been doing this for a long time. The thing is, I have, and I've been doing it for free, like a knucklehead. Guys like you, guys like many of our friends. How many times have you seen that I've sat with people for 2-3 hours or a day, and I didn't charge anything?
So are you ready to get started working together?
Well, yeah. Well, but then I did what you guys did, and I said, let me. When somebody says, "Let me pick your brain," let me just flip it with some of the words that you guys taught me, and. $15,000 one day and a $25,000 2 day,
right on.
Just from using what you guys did.
Yeah.
So that's another thing, is that, again, remember that little tidbit. Anytime somebody says, "Hey, you got a minute?
Yeah.
I want to run something by you. I want to pick your brain." be able to be comfortable and know there's a way that you could say the right things and flip that, where they're going to be like, sure, where do I send the money? And then you're going to have you're going to really enjoy spending the time seeing the value that they get out of that, and they're happy to pay you because it's a return on investment any way you go.
By the way, if you're wondering, how do I even say that? What are the words? All the words for that are inside the systems. Hundreds of phrases and lines. Like, for example, on that one, you would just simply say, hey, you know what, that's great. I'd love to talk to you. This is what I do for a business, so let's sit down and talk about how we can do a deal together. It's as simple as just saying it that way, and it's not weird or pushy or manipulative. You just use the words in such a way as to get someone to go, oh yeah, I definitely want to work for you. Next thing you know, you're getting a check for $5 or $10 or $15 or $25,000, and it's going through that thing at the bank, and it's going into your bank account because you were smart enough to invest in the system when you had the opportunity right now. And we're about to close out this webinar.
Well,
so now would be a really great time to click that button and get inside of the system. Where are we at?
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We've got a bonus left, but I'm going to leave this a mystery bonus because it's up to you right now to take advantage and get inside here. So we've got one left. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to shoot to the final screen. You're going to see everything you get inside the system. I'm going to play a little song for you right now. On behalf, we're going to actually close with a little song, and that last bonus is for whoever makes a decision to invest in right now. So we can come back to us for just a moment. I want to say on behalf of myself.
We're not singing a song.
Oh, we're not going to sing a song. We're going to play a song. We're going to play the theme music to the Mike Koenigs Show. I'm sure we can do that. And what I want to do is I want you to make a decision right now to change your life and invest in this program. Remember, you're covered by a 30-day no questions asked money back guarantee. It's a way to get in single pay, 3 pay. Is there anything else you want to add, Mike?
Guys, we're going to give you about 10 minutes after this webcast ends. All right, so I'm going to work with these guys as soon as we end. We're going to be wrapping up, and this is your opportunity. So here's the deal. Click the little orange button that you see right there. On the right side of your page above in the chat. If you click that, don't worry, it's going to open in a new window and you'll still be able to hear us closing out the webinar. What that's going to do is load the order page. So what we're going to do after that is we're going to take the orders for the next 10 minutes. Anybody that takes that, we're going to guarantee to get you guys into a training. All right? So after that,
all bets are off.
All bets are off.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, so the bottom line is we're going to take care of you as long as you get in before that this video ends. We'll make sure that you are inside one of our bonus training courses, but that's it. So, and like you say, all bets are off after that. So what we're going to do right now, we'll go to that, we'll play a little song so you can make up your mind, click that orange button, we'll see you inside, but we're going to continue to answer questions inside chat on our side here, and also we're going to check our messages, our phone messages as well. Ed and I monitor all this stuff. So we are right now ready to go on. We're going to go in and greet some of the people who invested in the program.
Do you take PayPal?
Yes, actually, we could take PayPal. Here's what you'll want to do.
Call the phone number.
Yep, call the phone number, and we will accommodate you and take care of you.
Of course. So get inside of the system now. Look, we really want to work with you. We really do. We're not just saying that. We want to get to know you. We want to help you. We want to build a lifelong relationship where your business is growing, and we really, really can't say enough about this program. Absolutely change your life. Get inside now. You can get in for less than $730. Plus, it's guaranteed. Click the button. We'll see you on the other side.
All right, and you can also send a message, support at youeverywherenow.com. We'll get you inside our support queue if you have anything else. But just go ahead, type it in right now. We'll take care of you with PayPal as well. All right.
All right.
Thanks so much for watching. We will see you very, very soon.
Bye. So long.
See you inside.